the heart of Savannah, where history and legend intertwine like the branches of ancient trees. There exists a world unseen by the ordinary eye. Here, the past refuses to stay buried, and the night is alive with secrets. Welcome to a city where the veil between the living and the dead is as thin as the morning fog, where creatures of legend walk among us, hidden in plain sight, and ancient pacts still hold sway over the living and the supernatural alike. From the restless spirits that roam the old plantations to the mythical beings lurking in the shadows of the city's winding alleys, Savannah is a place where every street corner hides a tale, and every nightfall brings a new chapter in a story as old as the city itself. This is the story of Savannah's secrets, where the supernatural is not just a whisper in the wind, but a pulse that beats through the very soul of this haunted city. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Welcome to Mythic Savannah.
everybody's ready to go, just give me a thumbs up. Yep, had to take a moment to kill the music. Shuffled some stuff around. Okay. Well, we are back. Why am I getting feedback noise? Not feedback noise, but I don't see
Not
any.
it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like it was just a little bit coming from Dale. It's not feedback. It's nothing you have to worry about. I just normally I don't see any of the desktop audio going, and there was like just a little bit. So I thought maybe like my voice was coming through on somebody's side like temporarily, but okay, no big. All good. Okay, so we are back. We are live once again with Mythic Savannah, but this time it is season 2 with everything turned up on its head. So does somebody want to give us a brief recap?
I can go ahead and do that. All right. So
Fangs
it
aloft.
was the season finale last time, where the apocalypse was upon us. The sky was red, raining blood. Those of us in St. Augustine were trying to get ready, but others back in Savannah, such as Char, Micah, and Joe, were captured within an unholy church and bound. Micah and Joe specifically were on crosses, and Char was bound up. She managed to regain some consciousness to see the area. She saw Zizek in the middle of this unholy church with a bunch of cultists, a strange wereback creature next to her. The red star was in the sky pulsing. There were glowing sigils and things. So Char managed to call for Azazel in her mind to let him know what was going on and where she was at. Although she couldn't quite tell, but she could hear the coast, so she had that clue to give to him. And then she also said Colobrian's name so that he could get a flash of where she was at and what was going on around her. So Sly let the group in St. Augustine know what was going on. All got in a car, hotwired it, and Petra gunned it back to Savannah while Cade did some healing on Sly. The news was explaining that scientists were baffled by what was going on. There were plagues happening in different parts of the world. Everyone's freaking out. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. We got back in a little over an hour to Savannah, but on the way, Petra got a phone call from, or actually was talking to Sean. And then got a phone call from Yong, explaining that he had gotten some information, and apparently Tom/Azazel made his way to them. And it was figured out that Tibby Island was where the abandoned unholy church was, where everything must have been happening. So we all convened nearby to figure out what we needed to do. And we went ahead and attacked. And several big things happened, such as Sly/Colobrian having a one-on-one talk with the Archangel Michael, and after repenting for his sin of depriving humanity of their choice, he got blessed temporarily by the Creator so that he could help to fight Pathanagal. It seemed that Pathanagal was the actual main perpetrator of everything, with Zizek being like his main lieutenant, more or less. And then we went in and we fought. There was chaos. I won't go into every single thing that happened, otherwise we'd be here for another 2 hours. But I will mention that also Petra got knocked out and then had a one-on-one with her deceased ex lover, Kian, who got her to get back up and continue fighting. We all contributed, fighting Pathanagal directly, who took on the form of one of his cultists. And after a lot of back and forth and slashing and biting and all that jazz, managed to finish him off. Zizek retreated into the Umbra. That werebat died. Remaining cultists, most of them have been killed, dispersed. The Red Rain ended, and it seemed that all was right in the world. Except, of course, the world now is painfully aware that something supernatural exists, because that was happening everywhere, not just around Savannah. So now, here we are, after having saved the world. There you go.
Yep, there we go. All right, so I have a narration for us here to kind of get us caught up. As I had indicated before at the end of that last game, this is going to catch. Basically, we're going to get caught up for by about a month. So, obviously, activity and stuff happening there. So let me get this pulled up and. All right, so 1 month has passed since the Nights of Blood Rain. Skies have cleared. The red hue long since faded, but the world hasn't gone back to normal. It just can't. People are stepping back outside, slowly, cautiously. There's no war raging in the streets, no monsters openly feasting in public parks, but there is fear. Something happened, and everyone knows it. What that something was depends on who you ask. A government psyop, mass hallucination, divine punishment. Maybe they're putting chemicals to make the frogs gay, according to Alex Jones. Make the frogs gay. Anyways, I shouldn't have said that. I broke that whole thing up. Apologies. The only thing they all agree on is this. The world is not what it once was. Across the globe, governments are scrambling to stabilize collapsing economies. Small businesses, cultural festivals, and public celebrations gone or indefinitely postponed. Whole downtown corridors are silent now. Their storefronts darkened with the signs that once read closed for maintenance and now just say for lease. And in the silence, fear festers. Savannah, Georgia. Once known for its southern charm and tourist-friendly streets, Savannah feels different now. There's a tension in the air, not quite panic, but a quiet, coiled dread. Everyone is watching. Everyone is wondering, who's still human? The Agency for Paranormal Containment and Resolution has established a public presence here, presented as the government's answer to the supernatural threat. Their official stance? Monitoring, containment, and resolution. What the public hears is safety. What the supernaturals hear is target. Their agents wear smiles and carry biometric scanners. They've taken over a few buildings near the outskirts of town. Civilians nod politely and keep their distance. Whispers about disappearances are beginning to circulate. The Guru aftermath. The Guru nation is fractured. Their great victory in the Umbra has left them too wounded to celebrate. Albrecht is dead. Zizek is destroyed, and Yuri Margrave now calls himself king. Some tribes bend the knee for survival, others resist. And in the middle of this broken world, something once lost has returned. The White Howlers, clawing their way back from the pits of the spiral. They have no leader, no place, and most of the nation would rather pretend they don't exist. The Farah and the Ghost Council. The Farah are stirring. Mokale, Rokia, Naga, beasts of ancient blood, and the recently revealed Apis walk again in the world of men. In Savannah, a new ghost council gathers quietly beneath the city's swampy bones, seeking a way forward in a world that now watches back. They are not unified, not yet, but they are moving. The Reborn. The reborn, also known as mummies, have returned to prominence, led by Horus, who now acts in the name of his slumbering father Osiris. Supported by the children of Osiris and the cult of Isis, they are establishing sanctuaries, purging Bane mummies, and trying to restore a fractured cosmic order. But not all mummies follow Horus. The Ishmaelites, the Kibiri, and the Grail Knights pursue their own paths, walking in line between survival and rebellion. They know the world is watching, even if no one sees them just yet, but they will. The kindred of the night. The masquerade is broken. The Camarilla clings to old habits, sacrificing neonates and scapegoats to preserve their fading illusion of control. The Sabbat is splintered, torn between chaos and survival, and the Anarchs, they struggle to form order from the ashes, knowing full well they may be next. The APCR is watching them all. Rumors spread through kindred networks, safe houses disappearing overnight, havens turned inside out, bodies drained, not by fangs, but by science. The fallen and the light. In the silence following the apocalypse, a new rumor has taken root, whispered first in hushed tones, now spreading through infernal networks like wildfire. One of their own has been redeemed. Sylvester, a fallen angel, has been taken back to the light. Michael himself appeared, not with his sword, but with forgiveness. Not everyone believes it, many fear it, but some, the reconcilers, have begun to hope. Hope in hell. It's the most dangerous thing of all. That brings us back to our characters at this point. So, in character, we know that there is a meeting about to take place. Petra, is this something you would have advised Charlotte of, or anybody for that matter, or are you just doing it yourself?
Have we been in contact at all over the last month?
I would imagine all of you have been in some degree of contact, unless otherwise stated, that you were trying to remain incommunicado.
Okay, then Petra would have told Charlotte that she got a note from Lillian about meeting and seen if Lillian reached out to her too.
Shar would say she had not been reached out to by Lillian. And Shar was in and out, like mostly phone calls and everything. She was um in her basement, rebuilding her house, working on other things.
Yeah, Petra, the cafe is still not open. The restaurant is open, but the cafe is still not open, and Petra has not been staying at her home. And neither has Courtney or Micah. So Petra has checked in at the cafe every now and then to get things or keep things in order. But so I probably would have, I mean, if you'd been at the store at all, we may have crossed paths. But
I
otherwise, anyway.
I think she had the bookstore temporarily shut down or um it's more used as like a if people need medicine that they can't get at the store, a temporary apothecary.
Okay.
But that would have only been like maybe once a week. And it's ran by her new assistant, Rose.
Rose. Okay. Um, so
Would you like to forward a picture of what Rose looks like to the Facebook chat?
Sure can.
In 1 second, I'll be right back.
Here she is.
What happened to Amon?
They died saving Micah.
Oh, that's right.
Both
Sorry.
of them did. Amon and Daxus.
Dang.
Rough.
Yeah.
Rose, huh? All right. Is that what she wears to work?
I hope not. I think Char would make her dress normal.
She's like, this is a very different kind of establishment now.
Yeah.
The world has changed.
I'm sure the boys wouldn't mind.
Right.
You got a lot more customers.
She makes them more like wear a little bit more professional attire, I'm sure. We can keep the rose theme though.
Alexa, stop.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch the name of the organization?
I didn't catch the last part, like Air Agency for Paranormal something. I didn't catch the last.
I'm sure Jerome could forward you the intro.
Yeah. Well, I hope he posts it in the notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerome, would you mind posting that that synopsis that you put in the notes as well?
Yeah.
Because there's some names in there that we did not quite catch.
Yeah, 100%. Usually when I do go off on a narrative like that, I've already got it printed or like in a
Sweet.
text format, so I just drop it in there.
Cool.
But yeah.
Okay, so go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No,
it's
you
nice.
go ahead.
Charlotte was mostly locked in her basement working on
Amulets.
amulets. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, Petra will say that she got a note from Lillian about wanting to meet if you'd like to join us. She didn't say one way or the other whether you were invited. I mean,
I'll come.
I don't know why you wouldn't be welcome.
Sure, I need to talk to her anyway.
So we're meeting 10 p.m. at the restaurant.
Okay. I'll see you there. How's Micah?
He's adjusting. The pack has kind of taken him under their wing, and it's still pretty fresh for him, but he's doing okay.
That's good. Have you heard anything else from anybody else?
I've mostly been sticking with the pack, staying close to Courtney. So
How
I
was her
haven't-
pregnancy?
about like the last one, she says.
That good or bad?
Well, she has a lot more support this time, and it's a happier occasion, I think. So it's pretty exciting.
Good. Be a grandma again. Well, we probably should contact the others. I mean, not about Lillian, but we probably should all get together and discuss.
That's a good idea.
things.
Let's meet with Lillian first and see what the state of things is on her end, and then we can
Yeah,
contact the
curious.
others and see what they're up to.
I feel like the vampires are very vulnerable at the moment.
Yeah,
They
think
have
you're right.
the most to lose with the masquerade being down.
Yeah. It's going to be a big change. Okay, so I'll see you at 10.
Okay. Take care. Bye. I guess. Phone call.
That was a phone call? Okay.
You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you.
Or would we have met in person? That would probably been safer.
Yeah, I guess probably. Oh, and you probably gave me the ring at that point, so
Mhm.
that would work.
Okay.
I don't think Shar would have said all of those things over a phone call.
Yeah, probably not.
Okie doke. And everybody can still see and hear me, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I've been noticing there's been some fluctuation with the connection. I don't know if it,
Mine, especially mine's been going in and out from orange and red and green.
yeah, so I don't know if it's some sort of update to software we're using or what, but anywho. All right, so then I take it you guys are going to go meet Lillian. Is that what it is, or okay? So Sly,
Yeah.
you've had a month,
Yeah.
so
So
what are you doing?
yeah, so gosh, for that, good question. Let's see. I mean, he'd be keeping his eye on the news, of course, to see how people are reacting to the supernatural, what people are figuring out,
Okay,
what's known. Um, beyond that, especially in the Savannah area, since it seems like people are kind of scared and whatnot, he probably would have tried to see what he could do about kind of bringing the creators kind of solace and comfort to people. Like he might have like tried to
plenty of
go,
opportunities for that.
yeah, exactly. Like any uh, anybody still going to churches in the area or what have you that are trying to figure out what's going on, you might go there and talk to them and what have you. Not sure if he would like straight up reveal what he was, but he might think about it just to see if that would like help the area to kind of get over the shock of what just happened everywhere.
Gotcha. Okay. So I can tell you so far, lines are being drawn in the sand.
Okay.
It is very much like COVID was. You've got people that feel very strongly on one side, people feel very strongly on the other.
Okay.
On the one side, people want to burn them all down. They're terrified of what they don't understand. They're terrified of the fact that this has been going on for who knows how long. Some of these creatures are ancient, and the fact that some of these people they're trying to wrap their heads around it, and they're also there's low key anger underneath on both sides because the government clearly had some degree of knowledge of this.
Yeah.
And not just the United States government, but other governments and other agencies that work with them. And so there's obviously some anger there too. Like, how could you guys know and not tell anybody, sort of thing? Not
So now
acknowledging
even more mistrust.
exactly. Yeah. So across the board, there's generally a good, healthy level of mistrust. Now, on the other side, there are other people that are like, whether they lean towards being fans because it's new, or they just see the humanity in everything. They see it as a way to try and reconcile, or not live apart. Kind of like they're taking it along the lines of even though this clearly isn't the case, that many of the supernatural have basically been in the closet. To use that analogy, right? They don't fully grasp the in some cases like the massive complications of politics and what people have done to manipulate behind the scenes. So there's a little bit of innocence, a little bit of ignorance there, but overall, they're trying to genuinely live and let live. And those sides are clashing a lot, especially online, where people will host something on like YouTube, and they'll have like this debate, and it usually splinters into like massive arguments. And if you think about the early days of COVID, you had people that were just irritated because they weren't wearing a mask, and they would walk up and get in their face, or and so it's like it's that level of tension right now.
Okay.
Not that there's a whole lot of fighting in the streets, but you're still hearing in the news every so often something like that, and it's usually over the supernatural, one way or the other.
Okay.
What you have been able to tell so far from the news: vampires, shifting creatures, particularly werewolves, and anybody who uses magic, like witch doctors and sorcerers and so on and so forth. Like every one of them are starting to come under increased scrutiny. And so where once people just kind of went, oh yeah, that's just so and so who reads through a crystal ball, now they're getting the side eye, like, oh, hang on a second. And again, much the same thing. Like if they're sorcerers or whatnot, was I bewitched? Did they steal my credit card information? So like there's just all kinds of semi-possible things that kind of crop up. And if it's a live and let live crowd, then they're like, okay, well, maybe you're just reading into this a little bit too much. If it's the opposite and the burn it all down, we're getting to tension levels where some of these people might just get dragged out and hit with a bike lock sort of thing. Like it's getting kind of intense.
Okay.
The other thing that's happening, which would actually affect Shelley directly, is that there are far more ghost sightings and hauntings that are happening, which is coinciding with all of this. And so there's an undercurrent now of ghost hunters that are coming to the realization that whatever happened, they don't know how. Obviously, they have like pseudo intellectual science to go behind it. So again, it's not all, they can't pinpoint it, but many of the prevailing opinions are that the wall between the spirit lands and ours is much weaker now.
Got it.
And
Okay.
that is how ghosts are, and haunts are becoming much more prevalent. Savannah, being one of the most haunted places in the United States, period, that jumped like 400%.
Oh boy. Okay.
To the extent that that's one of the reasons why the ACPR was first brought in. This was one of the first places they brought in. But on top of that,
we need to start up NOS again.
well, right, and
Yeah,
see,
actually.
that's what I was going to point out. To that point, ghost hunters have been around here a lot now. It's a minor boom for people to break out, whatever ghost hunting gear that they might have, and start trying to track this. Now, again, they have pseudo intellectual ideas behind what they're doing. Some may actually work, some may not. And that's causing some issues because they don't know if they're talking to a friendly ghost. They don't know if they're talking to a ghost just trying to reconcile and move on. They don't know what it is exactly. And there have been encounters that have been less than stellar that are floating around. And some are like, they film like a full-on poltergeist, like, invasion of a house with stuff that's getting thrown around all over the place. Chair kind of hovering up in the middle of nowhere. To others, like there's more than one instance where somebody was being filmed going into a house. They wind up, presumably, it's how it's labeled, of course. They get possessed, and they start trying to like kill the other crew that's with them, or lashing out and berating them over intruding or something like that. Like it's gotten verifiably hostile and chaotic in many ways. So there's a lot of that starting to permeate in the news now.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, okay. With all that said, then all the more reason to you know talk to people directly and like see what he can do because he's also like working on his own torment, trying to really fully purge as much of that as he can. He's gotten a decent way so far, but he knows there's more to do, more to do to repent and just help people get through this time in whatever way that he can. So if like an opportunity pops up, he'd probably take that, even if
Okay.
he had to be like a leader of something to deal with that.
Right. Okay. So then we can say then during this time, since you're doing groundwork stuff, Sly has also been volunteering at soup kitchens because, I mean, even though people aren't working, homeless still need to eat.
Right.
And unfortunately, there are people that are starting to rely more on soup kitchens because they aren't getting paychecks.
Right. Okay.
And they're about to be, evicted or whatever have you. So there's also that coming up. So you've started doing some of that, and probably helping out not the church directly, but certain churches with their projects. Like in some cases, they may have made like a community grow center that helps with like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that to help feed the community, and they take volunteers in to help farm it and take care of it.
Char could have helped with that maybe a little too, since she has her whole plantation thing.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So you can definitely do that as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then yeah. Otherwise, then he's just been keeping up with the group, maintaining contact, just to make sure that nothing else is apocalyptic. Even though this, what's going on is kind of stinks right now. But just maintaining lines of communication.
Sure. Okay. So Joe.
Yeah.
Joe got lots of questions.
Yeah, mostly I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna be like held responsible for those cars that I took, or the main car that I took, to try to get away from Whip Lady.
Well, so far you haven't heard anything. The shop has not reopened
Okay.
since that night, and you've kind of been
I've been keeping a low profile.
adrift. No one's
Yeah.
reached out to you yet. No one's said anything. You just kind of been at your place, trying to figure you out and hoping nobody calls you into action.
Yeah, I mean it's been quiet, and honestly, it's probably the quietest that it's been for Joe in a really long time, despite everything that has gone on. So, uh, truthfully, I mean, she has money in savings, so she's not really worried about rent and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I guess she would be kind of floundering. She would be probably, I guess, testing her limits now that she realized that she's been cleansed, so to speak, or purged, to kind
Transform.
of see the extent of them and try to spend, now that, I mean, with everything, she's probably going to spend maybe a little bit of time at some churches, maybe just kind of looking up, saying, okay, what do I do now? Kind of pray type deal, because she's not used to the faith situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just winging it
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, and Jocelyn's in the picture there somewhere, unless she went off to like, kind of figure out her work stuff.
For the month, I mean, yeah. And the big reason there is because obviously everything else is shut down. There's no reason to.
Yeah. People still bet on fights.
Oh no, people still bet on fights, but nobody's fighting right now.
Yeah.
It's very much like the beginning part of COVID. Just everybody right now is very timid. There is a little bit going on, so that if any of you guys go outside, there's a little bit of foot traffic. Mostly it's your people who are doing delivery services and that are just trying to, deliver for people just trying to stay inside.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, outside of that, yeah, she's probably not going to be doing a whole lot. She's just hoping that she doesn't get called by anybody at court.
Gotcha. And Cassandra. So
Yeah.
with the rise of spirits, you have been booked solid for at this point for going into 3 months.
Oh, okay.
Every day, somebody is trying to hit you up for something, and it is well beyond your ability to maintain. Uh, so in a way, it's kind of good. It's certainly bringing money into your pocket, but you are left day after day exhausted because it's like, what's my future going to look like? Can I contact this person? Can I da 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 da? Like, it's just one right after the other, and in some cases, creepy as it might be, you get contacted from the other side.
Oh, so she's starting to get kind of sensitive to that then.
No,
The
it's not that. It's
spirits.
not that you're getting sensitive to those kinds of spirits. It's that the spirits are seeing that all these people are coming to you, and you must have some sort of gift. So they're finding ways to reach out to you to
Oh.
try and get something resolved for the dead.
So is she just being haunted then?
Yeah.
So are there
Thankfully most of the haunts are more of the get your attention, like, hey, help me sort of thing. Nothing has been
so no like poltergeist
no, nothing like
movement?
that. Yeah,
Okay.
everything is like, you'll get up and go get a drink or something, and then your cards spell out "help me." When you come back, you're like, ugh. So you have to try and figure out a way to communicate with them, or and I'll leave this up to you. It's certainly been something that would be on your mind. Invite them in if they have the ability to inhabit like that, which would be obviously an easier way for you to communicate with them, but you're giving up control. So I'll let you decide on that, but that is kind of what's going on there with you, outside of whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah, I think her giving up control would be a case by case kind of thing. Because if something really aggressive comes across, she's not going to let it in.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it would be more of a case by case and her hoping that she hasn't, made a bad choice.
Okay. Why don't you give me a willpower roll real quick? This is only going to do
Okay.
one, and it'll be for the whole month.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see if any point in time any one of them has managed to inhabit you. Difficulty 6.
And I pulled a Brittany.
What, you rolled a bunch of ones?
No,
Does
I didn't have
anyone need a reroll?
I didn't have my character sheet out.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I have my character sheet out.
I should have asked. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, ow.
Does anyone need a reroll?
I do.
So willpower. 1, 2.
I mean, everybody could use a reroll.
Not bad.
I don't have any either, but
Okay.
And we're just using the regular MM.
Yep.
Two.
Okay, so you have not had any instances where anybody has forcibly inhabited your body.
Hear anybody? What happened?
uh-oh.
Still here.
Yep, still here.
Yeah, it's still here.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can't. I totally get. Okay, I'm gonna bounce out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Jerome, I'm guessing Sean has been very busy.
He's been very incommunicado, actually.
I figured
Assuming
he's probably,
that's what that is, yes.
I figured that there would be a lot of activity at the church,
Yes.
and And so he's probably been too busy with that to really make contact. So, but
But you
I
also
mean,
know that others have come into town and wanted a report.
okay.
So he hasn't really had the opportunity to circle back and talk with the family in about a month.
Yeah, and probably I'm guessing he's probably under a lot of um, scrutiny,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore keeping a low profile with our connection is a good idea. So,
Correct.
okay, all right, as you were. Wait, do we have Shelly back?
I don't know. I see her. Shelly, are you here?
It looks like she's still troubleshooting.
Yep, because she's muted. Hello? You have to unmute yourself. Oh, she did. Now we can't hear her. You'll have to back all the way out. Yeah, well, I think what she's doing is just logging out and coming back in. Anyway, so while we wait on her to come back, we will go ahead and follow up with Charlotte and Petra. So, so Petra, you see, of course, that Charlotte has a new minion. She is dressed very similarly to the picture. However, she has a trench coat on, which helps kind of cover up the additional sharp utensils that she has on her body.
Yeah, Shar would have like probably tried to make her dress a little more normal, but not on this occasion. But
Right.
when she's like working the shop and stuff.
No. Yeah, when she's she dresses appropriately at those times. This is more ready for action because that
Mhm.
material that you see like on her arms and kind of coming up to her shoulders, that's actually armor.
Okay.
It's just stylized and looks kind of neat. But yeah, it's actually armor. It's leather armor. So anyway, and then Charlotte, you see that with Petra, Yong is here.
Oh, yeah. We both have bodyguards.
Yep. Insert
Well,
Whitney Houston.
it's
I will always love you.
is that the Miss Piggy version?
Yes.
Checking. Yeah, it's Young thought it was a good idea if we kind of stick together for a while.
I think it's wise, especially in these we don't know anything what's going on.
Yeah.
So at that point, Yong just kind of takes position near the restaurant, which is a little bit off of the docks. And he leans in to whisper to Petra, and he says, "I'll try and cover you from here and give you some privacy. The only two places anyone can come from are the water or, the driveway coming in."
Yeah. Which Lillian is going to want to share in mixed company, so that may be wise.
Shar would instruct Rose to go back with Young.
Okay, so she nods, "Yes, ma'am," and she just starts walking that, following him, but she's clearly got her hands on her weapons in case something happens.
Mm-hmm.
She has no reason to trust Young. You guys don't mind him, but she doesn't know him.
Okay, so we go to the spot where Lillian said to meet her.
Yep. So you guys walk up to the yacht, which has still been here. There are fewer boats at the dock at this point. No idea what exactly happened with them. It's obviously less income coming in. But this particular boat is still here.
Okay.
And as you guys approach, you can see that Lillian steps out. She actually has Burn marks, like right up, or I should say not burn marks, but like scarring that happened right up around by her neck. Looked like it was probably from fire. But she's got her collar kind of flipped up, so it's not super obvious.
Is that something Shar could heal? Or do vampires not heal?
They do.
Can't be healed. Okay.
Can you heal aggravated damage?
Yeah,
Oh.
So then
I
possibly.
think so.
Might want to double check that. I think you may be
Ooh.
able to, but
Careful. You don't know if you want to share that with vampires. They might expect it a little bit more.
Or trust me more. Mend flesh by uttering can heal wounds aggravated and normal. Yep.
Nice.
Wow. Should
So-
charge for those services. Like Giovanni do it.
Petra will step up and say, "It's so good to see you.
We're glad you made it through
Glad
the
you made
mess.
it."
so she nods and she just shakes both of your hands. She says, P, Charlotte.
So whatever happened, we went to the Princess Haven and it was a mess, but we didn't see the guys that you said to look out for.
She says, I don't know exactly what happened there. We just know that Daniel was behind a good bit of it. And I'm under the impression that it looks like somebody dangled a carrot in front of him in order to act, which is what provoked everything that happened.
I'm really surprised that some werewolf type folks would take orders from a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was the case.
No?
No, I think somebody dangled the carrot for him. Because his men were the ones that were found in St. Augustine.
Oh.
Daniel's men?
Yes.
Oh.
We found, well, obviously he's already dead, but from the few that we were able to interrogate, we believe he had his eyes fixated on that broken up item that was there, whatever the heck that was, that chalice.
Yeah. Wait, so Daniel's dead?
Yes. He met the final death.
Well, that's good. So did his associate in St. Augustine.
Oh, well. Yay.
Do you Sharp like taps like her face like, are you doing okay?
I'm healing. It's taking a lot longer. Once we got done with Parker's men, we were hit by hunters.
Oh, wow.
So we lost some members of the court.
So soon.
Correct. That's the reason why we know it was a multi-tiered trap of some kind.
Which hunters?
They were part of the church.
Is there anyone worse off than you?
If they are, they're dead.
Okay. Shar, with permission, I think she is gonna try and heal her.
Okay. So she's like, kind of, holding back a second. And she says, did you make sure that area was clear before you start doing this?
We could go on the boat.
So she looks around, and she looks really hard at this point, like around, like she's scanning, trying to see if there's anything invisible or whatnot. And then she just motions you both in the boat. And then while you're doing it, she's not opposed to it. She trusts you a little bit more because of the amulet that you ended up giving her. Mm-hmm. But she says at this point you cannot use your phones for anything specific to what you are.
Wise advice?
She says, well, it's not only wise, it's impossible. we have reason to believe that the ACPR has put up signal emitters around the area, which act like regular cell phone towers.
That do what?
When your signal attempts to go to the cell phone tower, it actually connects to that emitter and allows them to listen.
Oh, great.
Lovely.
Well, we got along without phones before. I'm sure we can do it again.
Invasion of privacy much?
She says, Charlotte, I don't think people really care right now. They want government response.
Fair.
Thought there were laws about this sort of thing.
I thought so too.
I don't claim to be a politician, so I can't really say. But I would imagine you are right. But under some sort of emergency act, I wouldn't be surprised if they got this pushed through.
That's 6 successes for her healing.
Ooh.
Okay. So at that
That's
point,
a lot.
So at that point, she's like, and she actually she unbuttons and pulls back her shirt, to like kind of do like one of these and like starts feeling her own chest a second, where presumably more of the scarring and whatnot had been. And she's like, well, damn. Do you want
keep that on the down low?
Do you want anything for that, Charlotte? I'm not opposed to, kicking something back for something of that nature. That was super helpful.
What do you have to offer?
I can give you a boon.
That would be great.
She says, how about, I could only really do a minor boon right now, but it's a minor favor to be recalled at a later date. I'll make sure that the new seneschal has the information.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Is it someone that we know?
She says, I don't know if you knew many people from the court, Petra. Did you?
A few. We've been a few times. Did the prince survive?
Yes.
That's good.
Is she still the prince?
She's still the prince. Yeah. The praxis attempt failed. But obviously the issues with the government has everybody on high alert right now.
Sure.
And she tells you that the active seneschal, or the active, it's not seneschal, it'd be harpy. Sorry. The acting harpy is actually Victoria Ash.
Oh. Does Petra recognize the name?
Possibly.
She's been around a while.
She has been around a while, but she's also somebody that Sophie knows.
I know. Brittany knows who she is, but I'm not sure if Petra. She's been kind of out of the loop, but also, I guess it depends on how far she's gone back.
If I recall, and I'm looking this up right now, but I think she actually kind of did a Isadora thing for a bit.
The traveling artist thing?
Yeah, no, she sure did. Yeah, so why don't you give it a why don't you go ahead and roll intelligence and perception investigation, difficulty 5.
And Char has another question for Lillian once we get through this.
Sure.
Dose.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yay!
Okay, this is a public announcement. This is why children, you should not do drugs. Because you think you broke your headphones when you accidentally turned them all the way down.
Sorry,
You
we're
spent
not.
the last, I don't know,
Laughing
No
with
more,
you.
no more
20
LSD,
minutes.
Shelley. No more LSD. We talked about this.
Yeah.
That's your character, not you.
I got into character. What are you talking about?
That's method actor, huh?
No
Got
method
Yes.
acting.
P.S. Rachel, I gave you a reroll.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and
Also, Abby.
with your successes, you have heard of Victoria Ash. She actually had a #1 hit for 1 week in 1997 called The Unique Technique. And David Letterman at one point joked that it had been stuck in his head.
Oh, okay. So I've never met her, but I'm familiar with the name.
Correct.
So I'll be like, oh, you mean like the and she'll like sing a couple bars of the song.
Yeah, and in Lillian Duff was yeah.
That Victoria Ash?
Yes, that Victoria Ash.
She's interesting. What's she like?
And she's kind of taken back by that question. Humane.
Oh,
But
that's nice.
She can be stubborn. Like that whole hit song that you were talking about was kind of a jab at Madonna. Why, I don't know, but it just was what
I
it
mean,
was. But she's also
that's
known for
warranted.
her foolish generosity. So
Foolish generosity. Well, it's a nice. It sounds like not a bad addition to the city. As someone who's probably going to have to deal with them, the more humane kindred that are in town, the better.
Speaking of kindred, did Jason Bishop survive the whole? He was the keeper of Elysium, you said?
yeah, she says, yeah, Jason ended up meeting meeting the final death. He put up a valiant fight against the Inquisitors, but couldn't survive a stiff arm into gunfire.
Fair enough.
So, how are you guys dealing with this whole masquerade thing?
I would be lying if I said people weren't paranoid. Nothing like this has really ever happened. As far as I know, it came close back in the Dark Ages, but we're in the digital age at this point. And so now you've got certain elders looking to remain hidden and purposely outing some of their rivals just to stay alive and as sacrificial lambs. And you have others that are thinking that the Anarch way was probably better, at forming groups and trying to stay protective. Then they look across the pond and see the Anarchs aren't doing any better, and in fact, many of them are so individualistic that they're just getting themselves whacked because maybe she said, she actually left. She says, I know of at least one instance that one got whacked due to road rage. He just thought a little bit too highly of himself because, he cut somebody off. And when a couple people on the street realized he was a vampire, that's all she wrote.
Wow.
We're also hearing some rumors of extremist groups, which is even worse.
This is giving me X-Men vibes.
How do you think things are? Does the prince have an idea of how things should be handled? Does she have work for us to do?
Right now, no. Everybody is kind of trying to lay low and figure out top down what sort of answer is going to come.
Okay.
And just between you and I don't think there's going to be an answer. I
Are
think
you
it's going to be up to individual cities to try and figure that out. I don't know if our particular upper echelon is willing to step forward and act on anybody's behalf. And as I understand it, it's even worse than the Sabbat.
Mm.
Are you able to feed still? I imagine this is getting in the way.
I and some others can. Those who were wiser before already have our own herds, so it's still kind of private. Those that were not so networked or connected, they're the ones that are having a problem, and we actually kind of have to monitor them because just them going out, the very act that they try to feed could be reason we get exposed.
Yeah.
And she says, speaking of which, have you heard of the new guy who's running things here for the ACPR?
What's his name?
She said, I did a little bit of digging. His name is Raylan Daughtry.
Never heard of him. What do you know about him?
It's the APCR. I had the initials wrong, but anywho.
What does that stand for again?
It actually stands for the Agency of Paranormal Containment and Resolution.
Okay, have you seen this guy? Do you know anything about him?
Well, some friendly contacts from Ashland let me know that they actually dealt with him before this for about 2 years or so. He seems to be a straight shooter, but he's a hard ass. So I don't know exactly what to expect, but I'm cautiously hopeful. My concern is it's a government agency designed for people like you and me.
Jerome, if the masquerade is broken and the veil or whatever, where like the delirium is not a thing anymore, does my arcane still work? Okay.
Good question, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the masquerade isn't really a supernatural thing. It's a law.
Policy.
Right. The veil is more
a practice.
Yeah, the veil is more of an actual supernatural thing from shifters, which causes a delirium in people. That's what's really burning them at this point.
Okay.
But it hasn't affected anybody's powers like hiding or celerity or anything of that nature.
Okay.
Not as far as anybody knows.
Sounds good.
Lillian, I did have another question. I was able to use our trade to make glasses of aura perception, but we do not know what the auras mean. Can you get me a list?
Right. Before everything happened, I was supposed to get that. Yeah, give me a couple hours. I'll have a runner get it to you. When I get back safe and sound, I'll jot something down.
Thank you.
No, it's not a problem. I appreciate the fact that we're kind of in this together and not at stabbing each other in the back.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Um, how do you guys feel about working with other supernaturals?
I know the prince is considering it at this point. We're kind of all in the same boat. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of reason for prejudice to be there, but the werewolves are still on this kick of the worm, whatever the heck that is. And because we seem to be outside the cycle, like a corruption of it or something, like I don't foresee them giving.
What
as I
about?
understand, as I
Go ahead.
understand, the wolves are a bit more hard-headed than some of the other shifters. And frankly, I hear that they don't all really get along with each other. Um, but we've been working with some of the other local shifters, right?
I heard a rumor about something along those lines. Something about a big snake.
We're on uh, out of character. That was Arabella, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember what she was, and I couldn't remember. Um,
How perfectly in character for you.
um, yeah, so we're on friendly terms with some of the locals. Um, and I should probably mention, so that it doesn't become an issue, my grandson apparently is a werewolf too. This is a very
Wow.
recent development. We're all getting used to it. And
He's quite the fighter.
yeah,
Okay. Are we going to have problems with him?
no, he's being coached by some of the other shifters. So hopefully we can head off the cultural schism that the other werewolves have been operating under. Um,
Okay,
I
well,
don't know a whole lot about their society, but
well,
yeah,
you
just
clearly know more than I
keep
do.
that in mind.
Yeah,
Just keep that
I
in
will.
mind. He is um, he should not be a target.
Okay.
So
If you can get me a picture, I'll circulate that around.
okay,
Preferably physical. Let's avoid sending data over the phones.
right, okay, yeah,
Which, for the time being, it looks like dead drops and old school messaging is probably going to work for best. So so that way you're not going to just one location. I'm going to try and get another one set up, so there's more methods of communicating, similar to the birds.
okay. All right. Well, do you need anything?
Mm, nothing that's appropriate to mention right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Do
But
you have another Elysium, or is that all everything on hold?
everything right now is on hold.
Okay.
I think it's because they're afraid if there's a large gathering of any kind that it just makes everybody a target.
Yes.
Do you know where this APCR is operating?
Yeah, we've managed to find their. It's not hard, but it's downtown.
Okay.
They ended up taking
Let me.
over an they ended up taking over an old storefront, and they're operating out of that for the time being.
Okay. Maybe we'll give them a wide berth, just in case.
No, I get it. And speaking of which, my contacts told me that these guys have got some interesting little doodads around, stuff that we haven't seen before. The way they
What do you mean,
described
like,
it sounding like
like
cybernetics. Yeah.
cybernetics?
Yeah, it sounds super sci-fi,
like-
but
Like RoboCop stuff?
RoboCop. Oh, right. I don't think so overt. They seem to be able to hide it better, but yeah.
Well, I did encounter a werewolf that had a cybernetic arm, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Great. Give the murder furries even more reason to armor up. Thanks for that little nightmare fuel.
Well, that one is dead at least, so no need to worry about that one.
Yeah, he was an interesting fellow, huh?
Yeah, tried to take my head off with his arm.
Ooh,
Mm. Luckily, I have
Yeah.
some defense against that, but Micah saved me there.
he's a good egg.
She says, "Oh, and speaking of which, did you hear that Conflict MMA went under?"
No.
Yeah, it was this regional mixed martial arts company that was owned by a local investor, Kieran Rourke. So just another business that
Interesting.
went under, I guess.
Do you think it has anything to do with the stuff that's going on?
At
Or
the,
just
do you
incidental?
want that answer from my paranoid mind, or do you want something a little bit more cognizant?
Um,
Because right now, everything that happens, I'm seeing is tied somehow. But that's just me being paranoid.
All right. Well, guess I'll wait for evidence.
I'll check with the prince and see what if there's anything else that she might want to meet over or possibly share information, and I'll be in touch in a couple days.
All right.
All right.
Ladies, keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
So she steps off the boat, and then she's just gone. You don't even see her.
Put on her glasses.
If you want to, you can certainly make a
I'm
roll.
gonna use the power of my ring.
No, I
No,
won't.
it's fine. Hey, well, shall we see what everyone else is up to?
Yeah, we need to set up some way to communicate that isn't digital.
I don't know. I don't have some kind of telepathic powers or anything.
Neither do I. But we could go old school, like old time radio, and set up like codes.
Uh, I wonder if Clive could contact everyone without being detected.
He. We haven't had contact with Clive because the one underground
That's right.
unit we first met at, but we could try NOS. And I think Sly took up residence there.
Should we just head to the office and see what the lay of the land looks like?
Yeah, and if Do you know where the others are staying? Perhaps we could just, pick up and go.
Pick them up on the way. I'm not sure actually.
Well, let's start with Sly.
Okay. All right, so I guess we'll head back to the car, and
Okay.
our people will catch up,
And they do.
and then we'll tell them that we're going to the NOS building.
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, he's fine with it. And it's Jong is like, that's your office, right? For the Ghostbustering stuff that you were setting up?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Well, lead on, I guess. I'm along for the ride. Unless you want to kick me to the curb for one reason or another.
Oh, you're welcome to ride along.
Hop in, Rose.
She's actually driving.
Probably wise.
Okay, so we head to the office building.
Okie doke. So you both end up heading to the office building. Everybody ends up getting a text.
Okay, we look at our phones suspiciously.
Sure. It's two emojis, and then a number. And
What
the number
emojis?
the number is 4 digits. The emojis, basically it starts off emoji, the number, and emoji. And the emoji is like a happy face that's head banging, and he has two little hands right next to the face doing this. Hello, Vancouver by night.
Hello. My guess this might be Clive.
I don't
what
think
are
Joe
the
gets
numbers?
it because even I don't get it. So
I don't get it either.
He
No,
always
it's fine.
had such a humor about him.
What are the numbers?
It's a 4-digit. If anybody wants to roll wits and investigations, you can. Difficulty 7.
I will.
Sure.
Same here.
What's an investigation?
Difficulty 7.
Difficulty 7.
3 successes.
Go.
Wait for everybody else to finish up the rolls.
2.
1.
All right. So Charlotte is a little stumped. Is Cassandra going to roll?
I don't see anybody else. Oh, that's why. I'm in the wrong.
So Shelly got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 2.
Fortunately, I don't have it on me. I'll have to look it up later. All right. So, so those of you who got 2 or higher, the numbers obviously by themselves don't make a whole lot of sense, or the fact that it's enclosed by head banging friendly gift looking thing. But the numbers themselves, it's the without everything else, it's the street address to the office that you're at, or that Petra and Charlotte is at.
Oh.
It's the numbers of the address.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll look around and maybe head or look at the building and activate my ring.
Okay.
Char puts her glasses on.
Okay.
She hangs them around her neck,
Sure.
those
A
old
librarian.
school. Yeah.
That works.
Okay. Perception and awareness.
Yes. If that works like aura perception, yeah.
It does. It's exactly like that.
Okay.
I can
And
send you the...
difficulty.
Or
eight.
actually, that's going to be perception and
Perception and
empathy.
empathy. Yep. Difficulty 8.
Oh, nice. Ooh. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually put the GIF in the chat.
Oh.
All right, so those of you who are looking and looked around, so we got one with 4, or so Charlotte, or not Charlotte, Petra got 4, Charlotte, you got a what?
I'm still doing it. Sorry. It's...
You're doing it and doing it and doing it well?
No. What am I supposed to roll? I'm sorry.
Perception
And empathy.
Yep.
I just found it.
Difficulty 8.
Okay. So 3. Ooh. Okay. Oh. Hey. Failure.
Okay. That's never fun.
No. Typical.
Failure.
Well, so Petra, you are focused on your ring. You kind of look around the office for a second. You see they could probably use a dusting. But at the front desk phone, there's a glow.
And
it
at
sparkles.
the front desk phone?
Yep.
I will pick up the phone.
Okay, so you pick up the phone and Clive comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna like jump back and probably drop it.
And so he's
there.
all,
You are.
Yeah, and so he's all, oh my! I wasn't aware people were here already.
We
Already?
were on our way.
Yeah, I assumed you guys were already there. I'd stated that you were in the office.
Wait, did you send this text out, Clive?
He says yes.
Oh,
What was it supposed to mean?
Well, the numbers were to the address here.
Oh. I see.
I have been keeping up on the news and realized that the phone conversations are being monitored. I attempted to keep it obscure with the emojis I used. Was it obscure enough?
it was.
Yes, obscure that I didn't get it.
Oh.
Well, now we know. How are you? Are you safe?
I am fine. But the benefactors wish to speak to you. So we must wait for the others to arrive.
You mean... Hold on, I know who this is. Where's my NOS note? Mr. V?
Correct, yes. You didn't all carpool here together? Where are the others?
We haven't contacted them yet. We were afraid to use the phone.
Oh, I sent them texts.
Okay. I'm gonna go knock on Sly's door because he lives in the apartment up this at the top.
Okay.
To see if he's home.
You know what? Odd or even, Dale?
Even.
Even Steven. Yeah, we got an even. He is there.
Okay, I knock on his door.
A few seconds later, you hear some footsteps walking up, and then he opens his door, like, "Oh, sure, you're back."
Hi. Clive sent out a message saying we should all meet. Mr. Vidius wants to talk to us.
Oh, that's what that text was. Okay. Well, it's been a bit. So, sure, let's do it. How have you been?
Busy trying to figure out my curse and getting new assistants and working on things in my basement that I have not had any time to.
Oh. Well, good to keep busy at least. What with everything that's been going on the past few weeks.
Yes, and staying on the down low.
Well, all right. Yeah, Mr. Vidius. Yeah, here, let me come downstairs with you, and we'll get everybody here. Did anybody else arrive?
Uh, yes, Petra's here.
Oh.
I don't know about anyone else. We were actually coming to talk to you to see if we could get everyone together.
Right, right. No problem. Yeah, yeah. He'll walk with you back downstairs to meet up with Petra.
Joe will eventually figure out the text. She's not an emoji person.
That's fine.
And she's gonna go, but really the only thing that fits her right now are probably like sweatpants or pajama bottoms because she's like 6 inches taller than before.
Sure.
So everything's high waters, and she really hasn't braved enough to go out to really buy new clothes yet. 'Cause she's not really sure what's gonna happen.
Right.
So
Totally understand.
she's either cut her pants into capris or she's turned them into shorts or
George.
wearing oversized pajama bottoms or yoga pants or something. So
what you're saying is you need Jinko pants.
yeah. So when
Char
she
needs to-
arrives, oh sorry, go ahead.
Char needs to take her shopping, like we discussed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with everything shut down, that's.
Mhm.
So she'll arrive. She'll be in. Literally, you'll see her in like gray sweatpants and a shirt that is above her belly button because now it's too short. And yeah, her up in a bun. She looks a little not worse for wear, just uneventful is the only way I can describe her.
Remind us what you look like now. Besides
She looks
taller.
the same. She has the darker skin tone, more like mulatto, like a almost like she's like an Indian accent or Indian heritage kind of deal with dark hair, dark brown. She's got she does have a nose piercing like on the side here. Brown eyes. And actually I do have a picture. You guys have seen her before, so let me post it for y'all. She usually wears a tool belt, but not today.
Oh yeah, I forgot that there's a picture of her in the Twitch page. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so she looks the same except
Her
taller.
clothes are a little short on her.
Okay.
Sly, do you have a way to contact Cass that isn't over the phone?
I do. Any particular reason why I shouldn't just text her?
Our phones are being monitored.
Not just our phones, everyone's phones.
Oh.
And
By
they're specifically watching out for supernatural buzzwords.
Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Is that
everything
that
that's
new,
happening?
Is that new agency that's doing that, or something else?
Sounds like it. Or that it's related anyway. The government is trying to monitor the situation, so everyone's on high alert.
Got it.
Lillian says no tech.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can contact her, bring her here. Give me just a second. And he turns to the side and he says out loud, Cassandra, are you available? And Cassandra would hear that in her head.
I was hoping you were gonna like yodel or something.
So
But we
Your
demons do. We
activities.
yodel to our,
yeah. So
Thralls.
she has been haunted, and I don't think she would have had a chance to tell everyone else. So when she first hears Sly's voice, she's going to think that it's one of the ghosts trying to get her attention. So she's in her story, but she's gonna say out loud, "Not now."
And so then he'll be like, you'll see him like do one of these things and be like, "Oh, apologies, didn't know you were busy. This is Sly. If you remember anyway, if you can, make your way to Nos when you're able."
Oh, Sly. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize your voice at first. It's it's been different since that night. Um, is there some way somebody could come get me? Cause my store is full,
Oh,
and I hopefully I can slip through the back if they let me.
wow. So that many customers then, eh?
I will tell you when you get here.
All right. Yeah, I'll be there soon and I'll pick you up. And then he turns to those there and he's like, "Right, she's very busy with clients, but she can make herself available. I'll go get her, and she'll be back soon."
Hey, be careful.
Always. So he heads out to drive off to get Cass.
Okay. To speed things up, we'll just, scene transition Wayne's World style, and Sly goes to get Cassandra. Because the only thing really specific is that the streets are pretty dead, so it's not very hard to get around. There's not a whole lot of traffic.
Right.
So pick her up and head back on over to the office of. You guys keep calling it NOS, but it's Night Watch. What?
Occult Solutions.
There we go. So you go and pick. Go ahead and continue in character. You go and
Okay.
pick her up, and she's back at this point.
All right. Well, the gang, more or less, is back again.
How's everyone doing?
It's been exhausting.
She had people a line out her front door. People are we left people waiting at her place. She is packed to the
Really?
gills. How long has it been like that, Cass?
Ever since people found out that the spirits can contact me,
Ah.
people are wanting to talk to their relatives. They want to know their future. They want to know who is going to be their next boyfriend.
Do you
Good
have
for
the
business, at least.
and you can do all that?
No,
Oh, oh,
they ask for
Oh.
ridiculous things, and I am not. I don't even know what his name is. Houdini or no, I don't think that's right. I am
Boy.
so tired. Every time I turn around, something has moved in my place. The other day, I had my cards laid out, and I went to get some tea. I came back, and they have been moved, and the message was "Help me," but I don't know how to help these things.
you Can you speak with the spirits?
I argue with them because they keep moving my stuff around, trying to get my attention. I think. Durham, does she actually hear their voices?
Occasionally.
Okay. There sometimes I think I hear them. That's why I thought Sly was one of them.
Do you know how to help a spirit with unfinished business? Do you know how to find out what that business is?
Perhaps I would have to think about that and look through my books and maybe some of Charlotte's books.
Is there a
Hmm.
reason why you're asking that, Petra?
I have also had some contact with a spirit of a loved one, actually,
And you're
since
going to see
the
her face just kind of go, oh, not here.
since the night of the fight, and he told me that he has some kind of unfinished business, and so he's sticking close. I just wondered if there was a way that I could help him. But
Well, we can hold a seance, and I think Charlotte would be probably more capable than me, but I could definitely help in that aspect. And if he wants to, I can open myself up and let him enter me.
I don't have the ability to speak with unless they're well, maybe.
But you can do the seance. Can you not?
It depends.
On what?
Hold on. I'm looking at my necromancy spells. Hold on.
Hold, please.
Yeah.
Hold.
accessing memory.
Right.
Yeah, gotta do the George thing.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Please hold while I look up my spells. Um, actually, yes, I could summon the dead.
Well,
Well,
And
then
you said he had unfinished business, so he's restless.
he told me that he bought his way here to Savannah to be with the family, and his business has something to do with the family. I'm guessing that that's what has prevented him from moving on, and it was so wonderful to see him, but I just don't want him to be stuck. I want him to be where he needs to be. So
Do you have anything that he used to hold? Anything that the ladies could focus on if they're trying to contact him, summon him, whatever?
I'm sure I could find something. I don't have anything on me, but I could probably find something at the house.
I don't know if
But
that would make it easier for either of you two as he looks at Cass and Char.
and it probably wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt.
well, I guess we can put it on the back burner for now. Really, we just wanted to check in with everyone and see how you're doing. And Charlotte and I just met with Lillian, kind of get an idea of what the vampires are doing. How's everybody else? Clive, you have a question?
Oh, we were supposed to have a meeting, right?
Oh, that's right. The benefactors wanted to speak to us. Sorry, I forgot about that.
It's all right. I tend to blend.
Well, shoot, let's not keep them waiting. Let's establish that. Do we need a computer, or how did we do that before?
Is it going to be safe? I mean, I don't know another way, but
Oh yes. We have one on hand. So he just reaches over to the phone, real quick and presses something on what would be speed dial effectively.
he dials 9 to get outside.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Mhm.
And then he says, "Sir, they are present. They're ready for your. They're ready to have a conversation." And then he just hangs up.
Oh.
And then with that, there's a bit of a breeze that kind of blows in. You see the blinds kind of move just a little, almost as if a strong central air and heating kicked on. Like just a little bit more gusto. Cool air starts ventilating to the area. Take off the effects of the warm kind of murky day. And then, almost as if they appeared out of thin air, you see an individual come stepping out of the back office area.
I'm going to take a step back behind Sly.
The individual has long black hair. He is wearing a very stylish, tailored outfit. Something that only somebody with money would probably have.
I appreciate it.
Okay. And he is of the Caucasian persuasion. He is very handsome. So he has an appearance of 5 for those of you who are interested in knowing.
Oh. Well, seeing that, she probably would step in front of Clive. Or
Get
Clive.
out of the way, Clyde. Whoa.
Just
But how many abs does he have?
Oh, yeah, that is
a great question. They are currently covered by dress shirt and vest and whatnot.
I will divagate and try to see how many abs.
He does currently have a
Try on abs.
he does currently have a cane with him at this point.
A cane?
Yes.
Is he using it or is it just a prop?
He's using it.
Interesting.
So he looks over everyone here and he says, I apologize. Our other benefactor was unable to attend, as he's typically remote.
The Taipan?
He nods. That is correct. Good guess.
He's the one that provided our equipment.
Ah, I see. Well, welcome to our humble home away from home. How can we help you?
He says that's exactly why I'm here. I'm sure all of you have kept abreast of the media and the hysteria going around right now.
Definitely.
Oh, yes. Unfortunately.
He says that is why the Covenant of Obscura is having to change some of the ways we conduct business. Originally, as we had indicated before, it was very much a come as you will sort of venture. That you were not required to be tied directly to us in any particular fashion. You were effectively free agents that we occasionally supplied. That is going to need to change, or we will have to dissolve the nature of this relationship for obvious reasons.
shoring things up, as it were, then.
Correct. I'm sure
Well-
all of you can respect that. There's a great degree of scrutiny out there, and we need to make sure that loose ends are severed or protected.
Well, is there anything that you need us to do with respect to that, then?
I'm happy to hear that you ask. And you end up seeing he kind of reaches into his blazer sleeve and produces like paper almost out of nothing. Just
He turns to Petra real quick. Oh, look at that. He can do the same thing you do with the boop, pulls things out. Oh, not bad.
Where does one get one of those?
It's
yeah, and so he doesn't assume you're saying the paper, so he's looking at it. He says, "I actually picked this up in Hong Kong one year."
Mhm.
Well, it looks very nice.
I've never been to Hong Kong.
It was
Mine is
it was better
J.Crew.
before the CCP reclaimed it, but it's still quite lively.
My sweater is just from J.Crew.
I see.
Anyway, your paper.
Yes. And so he, slides it. He, slides it out, and there is a pin, and it's a feathered pin. He says you will need to sign your names to this particular contract. What it does is it, as it was explained to me when we had it drafted, provides a bit of a magical curse from you, indicating who and what we are. And invariably, if you are tortured or attempted to force this information over, it is much harder to do so.
So we will be tortured if we speak.
No, he's saying that if we're tortured by enemy forces trying to get Covenant of Obscuria information, it's going to be still extremely difficult for us to divulge who they are, what we are, what the Coven is. So this is some sort of information protection then.
Correct.
What's the drawback?
Other than if you're tortured, you would not be able to give up the information and prolonging your eventual torture or possible death. None, really. I might imagine that under the right circumstances, there may be an aura of magic about you, but given all of what you are, I can't imagine that's going to be any particular issue.
Well, you all have been helpful and have connections. I will sign my name.
As will I.
She goes up and gives her John Hancock.
Okay. And you're signing the names you guys actually go by?
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
like John Doe or X or, Okay.
I go by X now, actually.
Ah,
But it's spelled like with numbers.
That's cool.
oh, I see. Gotcha.
It's binary.
Yeah, it's binary.
I'm
011
Yeah, you're the hunter formerly known as Petra. That's what's
Yes.
going on.
I'm going to
Yeah.
thoroughly read all the fine print and stuff
Okay.
before I sign. And if that takes an extra whatever minutes, then
Sure.
I'm going to make them
That's
wait.
a good idea.
No, that's fine.
I see her reading through it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, it's all. I mean,
I'll go ahead
it's
and read
literally
it.
all straightforward, and most of the fine
I
print.
figured, but I'm being extra.
No, you're
'cause
fine.
I don't trust anybody anymore.
Most of the fine print is basically over elaborating what the spell of protection would do.
So it's
So-
a spell of protection.
Yeah, basically it's here specifically for this. It's not tied to anything else that you might do.
It's
It's
just about the Obscura.
yeah, it's just to help cover them. Which, if you're still acting on behalf of them, for whatever reason, it could wind up, being a better boon than than you anticipated. Otherwise, it's primarily to protect their interests and their information.
Okay.
So out of character, this contract just prevents that information from being forcibly extracted from us. Like we could
Correct.
still talk to each other about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Question. I don't know if I should ask this in character or out of character. Being that this is a contract and it's related to a, basically a spell of protection, and does the name that we sign, is it very specific to that curse? And the reason I ask is because Joe obviously has never been her real name, in a sense, like not her born name. Would she sign her born name or Joe?
That is a great question. It does not specify.
Then I will sign Joe.
Okay.
Ditto. Not Joe, but like the same circumstance.
It's like, we have
Yeah.
a lot of Joes here. For
I used to be called X, and now I'm called Joe.
yeah.
I just decided.
Wow.
Good choice. Good choice.
And Cassandra, you as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Sly, she will go ahead and sign.
Okay.
Can I aura percept the benefactor?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Now that you have that particular power.
Yeah.
I think I want to too. She probably didn't take her glasses off.
That's fine. Took you
Well, she's got to read the fine print. So
took you a season to finally get to that point. Might as well make use of it now.
botch times 2.
Wow.
Some
Char
ring
just
that
needs
is.
another month off. And everybody can have aura perception.
You know what? I'm going to re-roll that because botching aura perception has historically been a very rough thing.
Okay, go ahead and reroll. Charlotte, what'd you get?
It's perception and empathy, right?
That is correct. Perception, empathy, difficulty 8.
8.
1,
All right.
which is better than a -2.
Yeah.
One success.
Okay. So both of you end up seeing an aura that is wispy and white, almost kind of like smoke, but it also has a tinge of sparkle to it, kind of like magic. But not like, magic is like you scan anybody with magic or anything with magic. It's got, it has active sparkles, almost to the effect of, low-grade fireworks. This is more like fireflies occasionally, like just pew, pew, very, very kind of muted sparkle.
Right, and white.
Interesting.
Yes, and white.
I have a cheat sheet here. I know Char doesn't know it, but I'm curious. Wait. Oh. Cool.
So after everybody signs it, then I want to give you guys a chance to reply in case you need to. So he takes that, rolls it up, and adds that back to his sleeve, and he says, "Since I am here, do you have any questions for me? Well, before I leave."
Do you have a way for us to communicate that does not use modern technology, that is safe, that can't be easily monitored?
I do not personally. Encrypted phones are obviously an option. They are not foolproof, but they are certainly an upgrade. That may be something that we could look to supply you with. However, you will need to keep them very secure because if you happen to have an encrypted phone and somebody spots you with it, it's incriminating.
What about putting like a VPN or something on there?
Well, a VPN is for internet access.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if we're going to communicate, electronically, potentially, like, I don't know if there's like a messenger type service that we could do online, or I don't know. There's methods.
There is definitely that. If you look at messengers but they're limited in a sense that you would need them to auto erase, but that is always an option as well. I don't know how many of you have Facebook, but Facebook does have encryption and auto delete features in their instant messaging.
Also, do you have information on the, let's see, the APCR agency?
Oh yes, we've been monitoring them quite a bit since their formation.
What are your observations?
Let me get my notes pulled up for that real fast. Did I put it over in this? No, I did not. That's that. Wow. I guess I didn't. Here we go. I marked it differently is what happened. All right, so he says, as far as we can tell, the APCR have been merging elements of the ATF, CIA, FBI, and National Guard with the support of some Vatican-backed expertise.
Oh my! So the all-star team, huh?
Correct. Since everything went to hell in a handbasket, they're trying to combine the best of their A game from the other agencies. And
So does that mean?
And from what we understand, it's directly under the Department of Homeland Security's oversight. But I have it on good authority that it operates with significant autonomy, mirroring the anti-communist and counterterrorism task force back in the day.
So does that mean that the other agencies have stepped back?
Yes.
Oh, so we just have these folks to deal with.
If you could call them just these, but yes.
Is that an improvement or?
For the time being, because there's going to be some chaos as they reorganize. I would imagine in the next few months that won't be the case. It will be a single agency with the best of any operators that they can find that knows something about the supernatural to whatever degree that happens to be.
What are your thoughts about their operation? Do you think it's going to be a positive or all negative?
The jury's still out. If I can offer my expressed opinion, I'm hopeful that it is something that will be used to guide magnanimously, but I don't foresee that being a thing.
Neither do I. It's normally not how that type of thing works.
Correct. Yeah, it's usually far worse before it gets better.
My experience with governments is that they rarely come out to something positive.
Correct.
Agreed.
So now that you have signed this particular contract, I will work to see if there's something I can do here locally that is a little bit more secure than your particular office. The warehouse was compromised due to a falling cell phone tower in the area. So we had to...
is that what that was?
Oh, I apologize.
Me and Jocelyn was there like at the time, and we just thought that we were still being traced, and they found our hideout. And we just kind of
Clive had mentioned
GTFO'd out of there.
Yes, Clive had mentioned that the two of you left in quite haste.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of us.
Correct. It wasn't actually an enemy. It was some damage that took place to a cell phone tower, which collapsed into the warehouse, which of course made it a useless property for our purposes.
I'm a little relieved at that. Just, they didn't find the hideout. They just stupid accidents with cell phone towers.
Correct.
Apparently.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'll have to tell Joss that. Okay.
I don't even have my phone anymore. I threw it away. It would not stop ringing.
Oh, and Clive tells me you were seeking access to the Midnight Augury?
At one point, that was something we were trying to actually find, but that was in relation to what we needed to do for the Red Star. But now that that's been taken care of,
yeah, wasn't that for some nails or something? Yeah, we don't need that anymore, right?
Well, I still need to contact Dylan Lowe. There still could be demons out there.
Well,
I guarantee you there's demons out there.
That's a good point. We didn't finish off the rest of the straggly. There were still a couple of stragglies.
Well, the reason why I bring the Midnight Augury back up is that might be a way that you can solve your secure conversations. Perhaps finding some sort of developed magic item that can only communicate with one another. I've heard of stranger things.
Like walkie-talkies.
Like walkie-talkies, but I noticed somebody with a can that had a string that dangled from it at one point that actually...
landlines are, not always bad these days, I'm saying.
I wonder if Dylan knows, too.
Knows the whereabouts of the
Dylan
augury?
Lowe, the individual...
Yes.
Perhaps.
Well, Mr. Taipan, did you have any idea of where we could find an entrance to the Big Night Augury? That's apparently something that shifts around.
It is, yes. I had been contacted for a temporary... I had been contacted directly by the owner to provide a secure entry point for the time being, temporarily.
Shopping. Yes, let's go.
Don't think I'm gonna find long pants there.
You never know.
Well, maybe I'll find some magical long pants. Maybe I'll do that.
Do you
It could be like
magical long pants?
Warded pants.
All my clothes are 6 inches too short for me now.
I have some things you can go in my closet.
Pray tell why?
Well, unfortunately, I was a target of part of this cult's sacrifice, and as a result, some of the energy kind of changed me, unfortunately, kind of purged me in a way. I'm not really sure what at this point, but as a side effect, I grew. And now I can't fit into all my pants anymore. I'm still figuring it out too.
That's quite all right. I just thought I'd ask. I hadn't seen any updated reports come through or confirmations. I just heard that there was that conflict.
Yeah, me and Micah were unfortunately the sacrifices they were intended on at the time. So thankfully we got away, and but I am forever changed, literally.
Very well.
So, Taipan, would we then have access to this secure entry that
I can arrange that, yes. However, you will need to be able to decipher the card in order to enter.
There's that test, right.
What does the test entail?
Yeah, maybe some of us should just keep watch outside.
You got to look at a card without looking at a card, right?
Correct.
I don't have that capability.
Well, I mean, you got Clive here. I mean, maybe. Well, you know what? You got ghosts that follow you around. Maybe they can come with and help. They didn't. I mean, and as far as I know, they don't have rules as to how you can tell potentially. I mean, but maybe your ghost can sneak in and look at the card or something like that. Maybe Clive can do it. I don't know.
He says Clive would have to remain here.
Oh,
for that.
oh, never mind.
However,
but
you may have magic items that you could create that would enable you with that ability.
They need to look over at Charlotte.
Yeah, that's out of my expertise.
Everyone like
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like you're on the spot.
I don't currently know item that I can make that can see that unless these glasses can. No, they just see magic.
Well, then that's not going to help, then, is it? What about Dylan Lowe? Can he?
That's what those cards are.
Oh, I thought you had to see the.
Oh, so the item that you she looks sorry, the belt buckle's at home right now. I don't have anything that fits it, but is that something that you can use to see stuff like that? I mean, you said the cards are magical. If this lets you see through magic, would that be something that can work?
I would imagine it could.
Well, you don't know until you try, I suppose.
Correct.
So,
okay.
I'm not trying right now, but maybe something we can consider.
And he ends up reaching into his coat again, this time from like a pocket, and he produces a what appears to be like an old scroll.
Me.
He's the only one that's doing that too.
Yeah, and he offers it to Cassandra.
Oh.
He says, this is a gift that I had provided to Charles, and now that Charles is no longer associated with us, I have taken that back. And if you so wish to have this scroll, you may.
And she's going to look at it, see what it is.
Do you read or speak Chinese?
No. And what is this?
Hold on, I got a thing for that.
There's an app for that?
There's an app for that. No, I have... it might be a potion, though. Hold on.
An ocean?
Potion.
Oh, potion.
An ocean, yes.
Oh, yeah, and I don't...
We have to go to an ocean.
You're not really that old, Brittany. Just Petra.
No, it is a potion. Never mind. It's not a spell.
What is this?
It's a gift. If you would like
I
it.
understand that, but what is in the gift?
Well, if you can read it, then you will know.
What do we think about Google Translate?
If it can translate, what is that, Chinese or something?
Oh, I could ask Rose. Maybe Rose, what languages do you speak?
Rose is not actually here, neither is Yang.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say maybe Yang does, but I didn't think he's Korean.
He is.
It doesn't mean he doesn't know Chinese, but
that is correct. But yes, he is Korean.
So this is something that Charles was asking for, but now
It was given to him.
Oh.
He opted, I suppose, never to read it or explore the option, and I'm giving that to Cassandra now. If you would like it.
Merci.
Of course, I have no intention of giving it out again, so if for some reason I find that it has been sitting around and unutilized, I'll reclaim it.
So use it or lose it, Cassandra.
Yeah, she will tuck it into her sweater.
Excellent.
Where
She's
did
not used to
Charles
getting
go?
presents, so this is
I
new to her.
actually know. I spoke with Charles just the other day. He couldn't deal with what had
Handle?
happened. It was a lot
Mm.
that he went through, that we all went through, and even after a few weeks, he decided he needed a clean break. So he's gotten rid of his phones, and he talked to me through our connection and actually asked me to dissolve our connection.
Mm.
So I bid him
Hmm.
do.
Real quick, Jerome, would I
I
know
wish him well. I wish him well.
from potentially Jocelyn that the MMA, or where is it? The conflict MMA went under?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that's who was sponsoring the film and all that for the funding.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, with the fact that the conflict MMA and all that kind of went under, I'm actually kind of not surprised that Charles kind of left. I mean, there's not really a whole lot here for him at this point.
Right.
He was shooting a movie, and that was sponsored by Rourke. He was like the the guy behind it, but yeah. So I wonder what happened there.
Rourke. Kieran Rourke?
Yeah.
Oh. He was sponsoring a movie here. Interesting.
Yeah, I was working on it as the mechanical sort of engineer stunts type of person. That's how I met Charles, actually, and Jocelyn, as a matter of fact. I was asked to work on a movie, work on the cars, and all that stuff. Since I'm an expert on it, and yeah, that's how I met him.
Someone you know?
Well,
Who, Rourke, or? I mean, I know him. I met him a few times. I know that he was sponsoring the film. In fact, we had to actually meet up with him at one point to kind of convince him to invest more because the budget had run out, and Charles managed to convince him to invest more at that point. But I now knowing that his MMA also went under, like I'm kind of curious about that.
hmm.
Have I heard anything about Rourke or from Rourke at this point?
Nope.
Nothing, nor hide nor hair.
Nope.
At this point, I haven't heard nothing from Rourke. I just heard from Jocelyn that the MMA he owned had shut down.
Right. How is Jocelyn? Is she still in the area, or did she take off?
Not at the moment. She's with everything that's happening, she's kind of closing off some loose ends and stuff. So, she's still a fighter at heart, and I'm not sure if she's located some other arenas to kind of work through, but I expect her back in a couple weeks.
All right. Good to hear. Well, it seems like we have a place to go and perhaps the ability to get through the front door of it to get some communication trinkets. Probably important now that we're all being monitored by the supernatural Gestapo.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Whenever you are available and when you wish to go on that trek, just let me know.
I still need to finish the belt buckle and slice and Cade's aura perception amulets.
Has anyone heard from Cade? Is he doing okay?
I have not.
He
Not
should
since-
still be in the area.
Yeah, we haven't heard much from him since he fell in battle.
I don't think he had time to really mourn the loss of his friend.
Right.
That was regrettable. That wasn't
Yes.
supposed to happen that way.
Yes, your associates were quite brutal.
I'm
Yes.
sorry about that.
Mm. It affects Cade more than it affects the rest of us. Because he was Cade's family.
Yeah.
So at that point, the Taipan produces a card. Looks like it's just a beat up card, probably somebody else's business card of some kind. But he ends up taking a pen and jotting down a number on the back, and the number looks like it leads to just an address per se, and there's a phone number, 555, whatever. And he says, when you're ready to go to the Midnight Augury, just contact this number and go to this address.
Thank you.
Of course. When you guys look at it, it's in Miami, Florida. Or I should say Orlando, Florida, sorry.
Excellent.
Interesting.
Well, thank you, Taipan. Was there anything else you needed to let us know?
I simply wish to make myself available temporarily since I was in the area. If there was no other questions, then I will be leaving you.
Thank you for the present.
And do be careful with that. That is authentic papyrus.
Oh.
She's like,
Even better.
I give a side eye to Shar. I'm like,
Like Shar right now is that meme where the guy's got his head turned and looking off at a hot chick.
some other chick. Yeah, I see that.
She's walking with Az, on one side. He's shooting her a look, and she's looking around, and ancient books and scrolls are flying past, and she's like,
It's real papyrus.
All right.
And it's all mine.
very well then. I wish you the best of luck. Keep your heads down, and I suppose I will be hearing from you soon.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank
Good
you
luck
again.
to you as well.
So he just kind of nods his head, and as he does, you see it's almost animated like you'd see in a cartoon where like a piece of it goes, and then he's just gone. And then there's a breeze, and that's all. That's it.
Interesting fellow.
Petra, you have the way to contact Dylan Lowe, correct?
I have his phone number. If he will still answer it.
Isn't he a bit paranoid?
He
Yes.
is. I mean, he was already.
I doubt he will enter the phone.
I mean, we've always used coded messages on the phone. Suppose it's possible it might still work.
I can't remember out of character if Charlotte actually got his phone number from him too. I think she did. I don't remember.
Okay, well
It
let's roll it.
plausible.
So odd or even?
Odds.
Okay. Nope.
Okay.
We all always pick odd. I've noticed that.
I always pick odd.
Yeah.
Well, do we still need to reach out to him before we head
Oh,
to the
no.
Midnight Augury? I mean, if what we were talking about is on the level, then having those trinkets that you've already made might be enough for the test.
For
What if
those
we
who
get there
have
and
them.
they don't?
Then
Also,
we-
we're
wait, you want to go
Orlando
tonight?
now?
I am
I'm
not
just-
going to Orlando
No,
tonight.
I'm just saying that it's something that we already have that we can accomplish. Or
have an amulet for him to trade for to close portals.
hmm,
He We're making a trade so he could teach me how to close portals.
Well, I can give you his number.
That would be great. Thank you.
That seems the simplest option.
Easiest option.
And
We'll
I
see
hear
if he answers.
I will pull out my phone and I will give her the number.
Okay.
and I hear a stern conversation with Petra later between him and her, giving out his number.
He seemed to like Shar well enough.
Yeah, but she's giving out his number.
True.
by the way, Shar, so your curse condition, how's that been? Is that still there?
Well, I found and brought back the person I need to convince. Should be easier, a little easier now considering world conditions, but I locked myself away so I could make amulets this month, so keeping on the down low. But I can introduce you to Samuel Cohen so you can see if you can convince him.
That was part of the deal. Just let me know when you need.
I will. I was letting him
Has
settle in at the B&B.
has the curse been active still
Yes.
for you? How's that been?
Terrible. It's
Is it just
the
like
worst kind of inconveniences you can think of.
Like so it's getting worse then. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, I could have sworn I mentioned something like that might be happening. Not worth $1 million yet, though, huh?
No. We already had terms agreed on.
Oh, you're right. No, you're completely right. I was just mentioning just conversation. Just that's all.
I may be wealthy, but I am not.
Generous. That's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay.
Not generous. Now see here.
Yes, she's just going to be kind of doing the
I
the
think-
tennis thing between them.
I think I missed something.
With you, yeah, completely confused.
No. It's fine. It's fine. We had an arrangement. I'll honor it, of course. I'm just making conversation. We're all here.
Are
We're
you
talking about your curse. That's all.
Sly? Are you a curse breaker? Is that something that you do?
No. The terms of my curse is the the family line of Skeva, the ghost I spoke with you present. Need to convince his posterity to believe.
To believe?
He needs to be converted to believe in Christianity. Then was
in
it?
God?
Is that what we've settled on?
That's what we think. That's what my sources say.
Is he
Whether they have to be
some
a
kind
true
of hard
believer
case?
or anything like that, I don't know.
And then
It's very-
from the other room, it kind of interrupts the flow of what's going on. You hear this love, exciting and new. Come aboard. And then you see Clive kind of peek around real quick, and he's like, "Oh, apologies," and then he turns down the TV.
I appreciate your help, and I do believe that I offered you the money
You
and
did-
something money could not buy.
That's true. That's true. I don't know what that is, but I won't press. I won't press. At any rate,
Well, if that doesn't work out for you, I would be happy to talk to the gentleman, if I could be of assistance.
I will take anything at this point. The same offer for you? You
I
want money and
don't need money to talk about God.
The love
We've
boat.
become
What
Sue
well
is
will be
that?
acquainted
making
over the last
another
2 centuries.
run.
Clive is watching TV in the other room, it sounds like.
She is a strange character.
Uh Speaking of something money cannot buy, Sly, the amulets that I can make several different kinds. Since you seem to run into gunfire, would you be interested in a metal ward?
A metal ward. What would happen then if I'm wearing an amulet that wards versus metal?
Basically, the bullets will jump off of you. If you get hit by a car, you smash the car instead.
How does
I
that work
believe
with swords?
you may repel your sword unless you wrap it in something else. It will also block swords if you're talking about being hit by one.
Huh.
That
So
is
if I'm
very interesting.
touching metal, so I wouldn't be able to wear like a watch with metal or a ring that has metal in it, then I take it.
You can, but it's softer.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. You've seen what I do. If you think it makes sense, sure. That would be fantastic.
That would be your thing money cannot buy.
Excellent.
Okay. I have others if you want to hear other options, but that one seems to be most beneficial for battle.
Being immune to guns and blades sounds actually great. Yeah, that would have been really nice. Being shot through the shoulder was very painful.
It always is.
Speaking of things that have happened to us, so Joe, you've gone through a transformation, obviously, seeing what you turned into during the battle. Have you figured out what's been going on since then?
Honestly, no. I Mr. Videos left, right? Out of character. Did he
Mr.
go?
Vidius
Taipan.
was never here. Taipan.
Yeah.
Oh, Taipan. Sorry, that was Videos.
Yeah, he took off.
I am honestly not sure even what to call myself. I'm been laying low this past month because, well, we all know everything that's happened. I know that I'm definitely not a dampier anymore.
Hmm.
Is that what you were?
Yes.
Wait, what is that exactly?
Basically, just kind of chuckles. It's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of a vampire. Was basically born pretty far removed. I was naturally born as a result. The dampier is someone that's born, not made. My parents were basically considered kind of like a red blip on our family lineage, and we're also considered kind of a sign of the end times, ironically, which is exactly what happened as far as our recent apocalypse. But yeah, I could kind of walk out in the daylight. I still took some damage, but it wouldn't be as severe as someone who was full or a generational type vampire. I'm not like that anymore. Whatever light kind of purged, whatever was in me, whatever corruption changed me to something that I've never experienced. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So you can go in the sun now?
I was always able to go in the
Without?
sun, just without taking any significant sunburn damage, if you will.
So does that still affect you, or
No,
no? Do
I-
you
I've tested it in the kind of walked a little bit incognito to like the store, because now I actually need to eat.
You
Wait,
could
so
not eat before?
before were you a blood feeder,
I could do both.
and
But now
now
you don't need blood.
Now I don't need blood. But I have discovered, kind of by accident, that I can turn water into blood and vice versa.
oh really? That that
Could
could be
come in
very
handy. I
useful
mean,
for the local kindred.
it,
I know
in
some
an
of them are.
emergency situation, it's kind of like I mean, I've learned that there's an exhaustion to it. Like I can't do more than this. Like maybe like once a day kind of deal. Like it just
Huh.
not that I'm trying to turn blood into water or water into blood, but it is a kind of a good thing to know in case there is another emergency where we're getting some help from our kindred alliances potentially.
That is fascinating.
This
Yeah,
might
Lillian was telling us that a lot of a number of the local kindred are having trouble feeding because the masquerade is gone. Um,
Mm,
that's very interesting.
well, please don't make that public knowledge that I can
Of
do
course,
that
of course.
because I don't want to become a blood bank.
could be a decent side hustle right now.
You know,
I mean,
it's
Or could.
it's a bit exhausting to kind of turn that into it. Like it's a real concentration process. Like I'm sure the more I do it, not that I'm trying to do it more, um, it'll become faster and easier. But it's a useful handy. And when we were in our battle, I learned that I can turn some mortals into some ice blocks.
I saw that. That was
Interesting.
I
Yes.
was acting on
impressive.
pure instinct at that time, so I don't remember a whole lot. Just knowing kind of how to do it. And I just did it. It was just a spur of the moment thing. And I honestly have been trying to practice it since. And it's been a journey, let me tell you. I'm discovering new things about myself, kind of by accident, but only in the comfort of my own home so far.
This might be a weird question to follow up that, but have you had any dreams, any recollections that didn't seem like it was from your life? Anything odd like that?
Jerome, would I have had any of those aura flashbacks?
Get that pulled up. I think you may have.
I only have an aura of one, so I know that just kind of gets flashes, brief, like few seconds sort of deal.
Yeah, hang on a second. Like I said, I think you have, but minuscule.
Yeah, I figured it's pretty low because I'm more of a converted versus
You're special.
special.
You're on the demon
That's the
short list.
background, right?
Yes, correct. And I had it up here and I lost it.
Those are.
I'm in the book right now. I'm just
same.
through.
No, that's the powers. So it had to have been before that.
Backgrounds. It's in page 35 of the Angel, the Revelation.
There we go. Background.
Yeah, dot one just means I get a flashback that is only a few seconds long or has a sentence long answer kind of deal.
Yep.
Not looking for sentences to read. I'm looking for flashes.
Or that's a connection, you mean?
No connection means you're infused. Says 1 dot because I have an aura of 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, aura of 1 is a lot like pure blood for werewolves.
Yeah. I mean, I see that what that is here, but I don't know what that means because I don't play werewolf.
Yeah, it means to your own kind, you're that much prettier.
Okay, but it says here though, isn't that?
Connection.
Oh, that's connection. I
Yeah.
misunderstood. Okay, never
Do you
mind.
have
Then
Do you have any connection?
you know what I do. Hold on. I have connection of 1, so I would still have the first dot. So yeah,
Yep.
so I would still get flashes.
That's what I thought. So
That's yeah.
the image that you have is the building that the building that you're in is made of what appears to be like a fire. What is it? Fire.
Brimstone.
No, not brimstone. Fired clay. Essentially, it's and you can see that the window frames are kind of wooden, with some bead and a little bit of cloth that kind of covers it up.
Mm-hmm.
Very old looking style building that you're in. There's a roof to it, but it looks nothing like what you're used to seeing. There's no real discernible like chair. There's some stools that don't match that are made of what appears to be repurposed wood of some kind. And there is
What's the floor look like? Is it like dirt?
It's
or
dirt.
Is it flooring? Okay.
It's dirt. Yeah, it's 100% dirt. The door is rickety, but it's designed out of several planks and whatnot. The clothing everybody's wearing is very Mediterranean-like.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of loose-fitting, flowing, kind of robe, ish. Think Mediterranean, not quite Middle East, but in that kind of area. And they're not white. They're like multicolored a little bit here and there. And the vision that you have is this woman basically being savaged, in a good way, by a man that is just handsome beyond belief.
My mind.
Like a perfect form, perfect body sort of look, long, dashing black hair, olive complexion. If they had models in this era, like he would be it.
Do they have the 70s music in that era?
Just don't scry into it, otherwise you'll get a weird picture.
Weird. But that's what you end up seeing. It's a very torrid kind of scene, but from the perspective, you're the person that's coming under the sway of this just drop dead gorgeous individual.
Does this person who has this olive complexion, black hair, which is similar to mine, look like they could be related to me?
Hard to say. Okay. Thank you for the follow.
So she's gonna like just kind of think for a moment, and
but the hair is similar though. Yeah, 100%.
I did have rather, at this point, I'm not sure if I was dreaming or just having a fantasy of some kind, because the vision or like whatever flashback I had was like a really old sort of, I want to say like old Mediterranean type. Like I saw myself in this building that looked like it was made out of, honestly, clay, that gets kind of baked and then just put up. I mean, I'm not even sure how they made it, but there was nothing electronic. The dirt floors, like this is very, very old. But what I saw or what I felt was amazing at the time, because I saw this guy who had black hair, olive complexion. I sure hope it's not a relative that I was about to have carnal relations with. But yeah, that's what I saw. I basically saw someone in an olden time getting their groove on.
Oh, so that kind of a dream.
Rachel, why don't you go ahead and give me a connection and perception roll, difficulty 6.
Okay. Connection, perception.
And you have a feeling that you might be related to this
I
person?
mean, they have dark hair, I have olive skin, and they have olive. I mean, I don't know. It could be a connection there. I mean, we'll see. Sorry. So roll 5.
I don't understand.
I don't know
your-
if this is a vision of somebody that I knew or someone that I'm related to. I mean, honestly, the hair is kind of wildly like mine, and same this. I don't know. I'm gonna assume, but it seemed weird. Hold on. One.
One success. Okay.
Oh wait. Actually, my 10s explode, so 2 technically.
Oh, so you have a 2 or you have a 4 perception?
4 perception. Yes, I do.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
So 2. All right. So as you're trying to relay this thought or whatnot, you kind of focus on it, and it comes in a little bit more focus, which unfortunately is probably not what you want to reveal to everybody, because at like some point she's trying to think, and I mean you can actually kind of see her go like, oh. Sort of as she's just kind of, but
A very vivid fantasy.
yes, it is. But you end up hearing the word whispered, "Watch her."
She's like, man, it was a hot dream.
I don't think
Obviously,
I've never had a
Your,
dream like that before.
your cheeks are kind of tinted.
My what?
Interesting.
Your cheeks.
Wow. I mean, if you could see into my mind as to what this dream was, I mean, I think your cheeks and other things would be pink too.
so. You were in an
Right.
area that was in a past age.
I mean, it was a very old, like this old house. Like there's nothing special about it. It wasn't even dilapidated or anything. It was just super basic. The clothing was nothing special. Kind of reminded me of those, kind of like those old, like religious sort of paintings where like you see like these common folks and stuff, like kind of in that sort of time area, like the robes and just basic cloth clothes and stuff like that. Like it was really weird.
Hmm.
I don't know what that's about. All I can thinking
What's-
is maybe I just read my book and it just kind of inserted itself in other ways in my
Why-
dreams.
Why are we talking about a spicy dream that Joe had?
Oh, he asked me if I had any weird dreams and stuff, and I'm like, well, that was a weird dream for me. I don't usually
Is that-
have wet dreams.
Well, now
Is that significant, Sly? Is that
It might be. Could that be the
Ow.
case?
Is she one of you?
Well,
It's only happened once so far, but I mean, it's only been a month, so I don't know. Well,
it will
I
likely
hope it's
happen.
a repeat. Oh, good.
something you may want to something you may want to consider is thinking back and trying to remember things from before your current life. I know that sounds weird. That's not something we would normally try to do because that doesn't make sense. But in your case, I think it actually will.
What? Okay, hold on, Sly. What are you thinking?
So she's been reincarnated.
Not
I haven't been changed. I don't feel like I've been entered by another entity, if you will. At least not that one.
It
But
wouldn't be. Yeah, it wouldn't be like that. It seems like I think you've inherited something. Has anyone here ever heard of well, I suppose if you've read certain holy texts or the Bible, if you've ever heard of the Nephilim.
sure?
no.
Yes, a little bit.
Petra, what do you know about the Nephilim? What do you remember?
According to scripture and some apocrypha, they were the offspring of angels and humans, and manifested as giant humanoid beings. There's been some evidence of, like skeletons that have been found, archaeologically, that were larger than human size, and people have suspect that perhaps that's what they were. But I don't know. There's not a lot known about them.
So I can tell you that some of that is correct. Turning into giants wasn't necessarily something that happened, but during a time, during the fall, we tried different things during our war against the heavenly forces. One of those things was something that I believe the Morning Star himself actually wanted to institute, and that was having some of us breed with mortals, thus creating the Nephilim.
Did you?
For what purpose?
Wait, so you say but I was born to a human. Well, I was born to a vampire father and a human mother.
So what this ultimately would mean would be, first off, I wasn't actually sure that any of them would have survived, because most, if not all of them, were destroyed before we were cast into the abyss. But it seems, or it's at least possible, that they could have had offspring of their own afterwards, and they weren't caught. And if that's the case, you may have inherited some of that legacy.
Do you know what? Based on what you're telling me, and this is honestly a bit far-fetched, but frankly, with everything that's happened, I'm not just going to put it past anything at this point. What's a watcher then?
A watcher? Where's that from?
Oh, wait. Maybe she was talking about me. I know, right?
So Petra and Sly, I need you guys. Sly, do you have any like angelic lore?
He has 2 points of legacy, which is his memories of that past time.
That's what. Okay, so roll that. Petra, I know you have church lore. Well, not necessarily church, but do you have scriptures?
Yeah, church. I have church lore and I have scripture.
Okay, so your intelligence and scripture.
Shelley knows all about this, but
so let me just say that I've never been a talking in bed kind of person, but when I was in this dream, this person who I was had whispered this word called watcher. And I thought she was talking about me because I thought I was having an out-of-body experience, to be honest. But maybe that's not what she meant.
Wait, but I don't understand. I don't understand what a spicy dream would have to do with.
She was
Family
2 people
history
in this hut having relations. This guy looked like he could be related to me. That's why I'm assuming that it was part of my history.
You likely just saw 2 of your ancestors. And that one that you saw, you said
awkward.
had this
perfect
body.
I was in her body.
That is awkward.
So Tom has explained some of this to me. He was one of the Watchers.
Wait, what is a watcher?
What is watchers?
I know a watcher, and apparently now in this case isn't a voyeur, but what is a watcher?
They were guardians of the Nephilim. They bred with human women.
Oh.
The Watchers did?
I think so. I don't remember all the details. but
Okay. So, Jerome,
They were part of that group, the Watchers.
as I'm remembering back on this dream where I am the chick in this case, do I feel like a human? Do I feel like a regular person?
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right. In this experience, I felt blissfully human.
What did the person in your dream look like again?
Very handsome. He had black hair, kind of curly like me, very olive complexion like me. Built. I'm guessing from the hard labor from their time. I don't know. But yeah, similar eyes. I mean, as much as I could see that she was paying attention to.
Char will pull up a picture on her phone of Az or Tom and
Okay.
show Joe. Did he look like this?
Did he look like that?
Nope.
No.
No.
Good try
Keep
though.
in mind,
That would have been
Char,
super awkward.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
already awkward.
keep in mind, none of us look like who we're inhabiting right now way back when. Typically, it's going to be different, but I think I see where you're coming from.
Well,
It's
I'll let you in a
possible.
little secret. Even this face was never really this face. Before I came here, I had a whole vicissitude assisted change.
Vicissitude?
Meaning that because of my current situation, or well, what was my situation, it could still be current, but because of what I was on the run from, I had to change my entire appearance.
That's a kindred
Yes.
plastic surgeon.
I called in a favor very early on, probably a good several decades ago, to change this, because I mean, y'all don't know everything, but you guys already know that I was a Dampier, and that's like I said, the redheaded stepchild of the vampire community. It was
Yeah,
my
I can't
family
imagine.
history did not approve. They are very aristocratic in that nature. They
So,
saw anything pass as weak and detrimental to their line.
so now that you are not this
They don't
Dampier,
know that. Nobody knows that but you guys.
but they won't. When they find out, they won't hunt you no more.
I cannot guarantee that. I haven't heard or had any signs from that side in about maybe a decade or so.
So, is your new form mortal?
I don't know. Jerome, is my form mortal? Would I know that?
Technically, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
you
technically,
been-
I aged
have you injured
slower.
yourself?
Sorry.
Have you injured yourself? Do you bleed? Do you heal?
Well, I haven't tested those limits, but I don't feel any nourishment from blood anymore. I did try, okay, but it made me sick. Whereas before I could eat, food and blood if I needed. I preferred more the food aspect of it, comparatively less suspicious, but I haven't tested that part. But I feel, frankly, while I feel extraordinary, I feel very mortal.
It must be a very strange feeling for you.
Char is going to text Tom.
It is.
And ask him to come here.
Okay.
To talk about like Joe's transformation.
All right. And so he just gives you a thumbs up. Says, "Okay, love."
Okay. I asked Tom to come here. Maybe he can help.
That'll be fascinating.
Some answers will be great. I mean, but I feel a bit weird that, all of not that I don't trust you because, you guys came and saved me, but it feels a little weird to have so many people know about this, even when I am not sure about this. You know what I mean?
That means you
But
just have a leg up.
well, yes, because you have us to help
Um,
to to help you figure this out. It would be better than having to try to do it on your own.
Oh, I've been on my own for a very, very long time. It's kind of
Mhm.
hard to accept help from other people.
I know this very well because I too like my solitude, but the certain individual does not always allow that.
I think we all have sentiments of trusting and not trusting.
Well,
Yeah.
eventually
And
Tom shows up. You can hear the throaty sounds of a growl of a muscle car coming to a stop. A V8 engine.
Shar will go to the door and let him in.
Okay. So, I mean, he comes walking in. He's casually dressed. He's just got a Warren Star t-shirt. He has some distressed denim jeans on right now, looking kind of like the rock star a little bit. He's left his hair down. So he says, "So I'm here."
Joe, would you like to explain?
Relive my fantasy? Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
So he
And he
Sure.
explains, she does the whole.
sure. So he turns and looks at Charlotte and he says, "Are you trying to set me up with her?"
No, no, no. I'm taken. No, that's not even the.
Well,
This was a vision. It wasn't. It was a flashback. It was a spicy flashback, but a flashback all the same. I'm
Spicy.
sorry, I can't time the place.
Shar
or the
grabs
time.
the bridge of her nose and just goes, "No."
guys don't make me laugh.
So I mean, he
We
looks.
think she might be related to Nephilim.
Oh, what? So he looks over to Joe and he says, "Why'd you think that?" And he says,
Oh my god.
"Oh, hold on.
Mhm.
You're glowing."
I am. I mean, I don't know how to check my aura, but I know
She's
others
just
can.
thinking about that dream she had.
No. Yeah, I know exactly.
You know,
He says, "No. It's not an aura sort of thing. It's and he kind of does like one of these numbers, like kind of shaping it up, and he says, "Sly, you don't see it?"
I don't seem to have what you have when it comes to seeing things. What are you seeing?
Actually, you would at this point, at least as far as her aura is concerned.
Oh, okay.
It works like it literally works like pure breed for werewolf.
Oh, okay. Then what would Sly be seeing, if anything, when he's looking at her?
You may not see the actual aura per se, but there's clearly something more there now.
Okay. So he takes like a couple of steps forward and like takes a closer look, gives her like the once over, and he's like,
she kind of just like backing
Oh
up
my
a little
God.
bit, like,
You
dang.
guys
I
are gonna
wasn't-
kill me.
I wasn't focusing on that before, but you're right. She does radiate. Interesting. Huh.
Wait, so I don't have like a pale aura anymore, like
Like,
Can I?
before I could like pass as a vampire because I had I was gifted a little bit in that area, but
Can I try aura perception?
you sure can.
Shar will too.
Okay.
Failure.
It's got 0, not a botch. Thankfully.
Place is not a botch.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of new at this. I don't know.
Okay, wait. What is your you guys have necklaces, right? Or something that can see through magic stuff? Or is that something you can
Here,
do? Or
Char will lend her the glasses.
Lend who?
Joe.
Or
Oh yeah, that's
Joe?
not
Me.
going to help Joe.
Doesn't work me.
It's
Oh.
C.
No.
Sorry.
Others like she can't see it. Petra can't see it. Like but you two can.
I got 2 successes to see it.
Okay. So let me get up here real quick. Where'd it go? Come on. There we go. So, so it doesn't say there. Well, that sucks. So you end up seeing, she is appearing to be a bit confused in her aura. So there's definitely a little bit of some back and forth. However, she actually has some sparkles of gold in her aura.
Interesting.
What? Okay,
So-
everybody's saying what?
We're just noticing that you're different, like what we've been talking about before.
Well, I know I've outgrown my pants, but
And he's
Not
like-
just your physical form.
Yeah, so Tom is like, oh, so that wasn't just a fashion choice.
no. This is the only thing that fits me right now. I mean, but the shirt looks cute though. It's
Yeah.
a midriff now.
Yeah, and so he leans into Charlotte and he says, I can't tell you how many women I've had that said that to me.
You're muted, Abby.
Mhm.
Oh, yep, you're still muted.
I'm aware.
So he says, so why exactly am I here? What am I supposed to be explaining?
We
Or
wanted to know more about the Nephilim and the Watchers.
oh,
Yeah, I
Oh,
had this
you mean the
spicy
shag
dream
band?
apparently. Yeah, that said someone was a watcher, or they just said watcher in the throes of whatever they were doing.
that was 100% us.
Mhm.
Wait, what?
Us?
So, as the story gets retold, 200 of us got a little bored. So we saw all these women.
Oh,
We had a shag.
oh. Well,
Did-
hey, cousin.
It went on for days. But how much do you really want to know,
Yes.
Charlotte?
I don't want to know that much, no.
So the vision I had where these watchers getting their groove on with human women for a few days, and
You probably
boom.
You probably
My
witnessed
lineage.
if that's the case, you probably witnessed your conception.
Oh, I've more than witnessed it.
Well, there you are.
Odd. I don't know whether to be grossed out or aroused.
Well, you and me both. Okay.
Char pushes him a little.
Look, I before I knew who it could have been, it was great. But now that I know who it probably was as far as ancestrally, I am a little grossed out. No offense. No offense. She
But
looks up to God or
but
whatever.
you said that one of your parents was a vampire. Then how could you?
I'm well. Usually, vampires are turned; they're not born. But potentially in some sort of distant lineage. I mean, could have been a thing. I mean, my mom or mother or something probably passed it down. I mean, honestly, or not mother, but great, 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 great X amount of times grandmother. I don't know at this point. Your guess is as good as mine.
And he says, typically that's the way it works. Is the lineage gets passed down from generation to generation. It's often skipping, from my understanding, many people until it gets to a point where it manifests again.
There you
Sure
have it.
skipped a lot. Like a couple hundred, I don't know, or more, thousand of years. I don't even know at this point.
Well, you start with 0, and then you take it back several thousand.
Mm-hmm.
She just gives him a dirty look.
It's what? I'm attempting to help you to be specific. You're the one coming up with these dreams.
I'm not coming up with them on purpose, okay? I don't have any control over these, as far as I know. Do you have control over these dreams or these flashbacks, as they were?
You're supposedly, as a Nephilim, you're supposed to have some degree of control. It's your form of avatar state. Let's just put it in American nomenclature.
I never watched Avatar. I don't know.
Okay, well, now you have some homework.
I don't want to watch TV and watch cartoons. I know of it. I don't want to watch it. But I guess if it's for educational purposes, she kind of looks to the side, maybe.
Essentially, you should have access to your ancestors' memories.
That's why I was mentioning before, if you were to try to look back before your own life, you might actually be able to remember things that others have gone through your lineage.
Okay, so that then brings me to this. Is there a point to me wanting to know that information?
Perhaps somebody in your past has gone through something significant that you might need to go through again. Sometimes history repeats itself. Sometimes one of your ancestors learned something that you couldn't learn now, but they learned it, and you might be able to remember it.
Look, my I don't want to relive history. Okay, history has not been kind to me. History has been death to me. I don't want to relive that.
And you don't necessarily need to relive it. You might just have some extra memories that may be helpful from time to time. Just keep that in mind. What you experienced, now you know, wasn't a random dream. It was literally a memory.
My lineage conception. Well, that's a thing. I will say that is something that I don't think everybody can say. I knew what my great 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 times however many grandfather looked like.
Then you said he was
I don't think that I'll be able to think about that the same way again, ever.
He says, pray tell, just what did he look like?
She describes the same thing that you had said: the dark hair, the olive complexion, the similar features to her, the hazel eyes, maybe kind of deal. So,
okay, so and he says, that's kind of vague. Do you see anything descriptive? Well, I mean, not in that way, of course.
Can I
We were
recall
all
back
quite gifted.
if she said his
Tell him how
name
many-
potentially or
How many
anything like
abs the
that?
guy had?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Petra's focusing
have,
on the important part
yes.
here.
Any
Let us know.
symbols or scars on him or anything like that that I can recall potentially?
Go ahead and give me another roll.
Okay. Perception and
Connection.
or connection. Sorry.
Yep. Difficulty 6.
Okay, so 5. Okay. I'm gonna do a will for an auto because I can.
Okay.
Oh, 5 with the auto. No, wait. 6 with the auto.
Wow. Okay.
Oh boy.
So at that point, you get a chance to take a look at it again, and you're looking for, some sort of visual prompt or whatnot. And you actually see this is something that all angels. You probably starting to know this now, but Dale, you would know this. It's like a brand. It's their name. They would wear their name. There was always a symbol that would translate into into the angelic language that would be that's their name, and it was all unique to them. Very similar in a sense to if you've ever seen it, the prophecy.
Okay. So I'll describe the brand or the symbol,
Okay.
not knowing what it means, of course. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do. As I'm kind of like thinking back, like there was something on this area over here that looks like this. And then describe.
Okay. And did you say it was on the left shoulder?
Yes, I guess.
So
I don't know. You didn't tell me either way.
Yeah. So he leans into Charlotte and he says, "Bloody hell! I think this one's mine."
I was wondering if that was the case.
Char smirks and then rubs her
That's
forehead.
He says, "So if it helps,
Hello, Grandpa.
yeah, she was wonderful."
Joe's jaw just drops. Like, oh my god, I experienced that. I mean, apparently you were very good, but that's not what I wanted to know.
And so, I mean, at that point, he nudges, Charlotte again. And he says, "See, it lasted over millennia."
You are quite good.
I've still got it.
I look at her like, do I hear them conversating like this?
Oh yeah.
No,
It's not
How
super
would you
loud,
know?
but you could.
Wait, are you guys involved?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh,
You're
Oh, no, we had a very interesting phone call with her one time.
I guess she wasn't. That's right. She wasn't there. She was running for her life
right.
at the time.
so you're the guy in the okay.
Sly.
Joe's processing.
Sly looks at Tom and he's like, "You slut."
He said, I mean,
Yeah, you slut.
I mean, he just shrugs and he says, "I mean, it did get me chained to a rock."
Yes, Cassandra's
did.
going to turn to Sly. You did not sleep with the women back then?
Trying to remember. Not all of my memories are perfect, but I can't recall if I was involved in that or not.
And he says,
I
"Oh,
just remember.
you would remember. There was only 200 of us, mate."
Would Sly does Sly
Yes.
remember if he ever?
You could certainly
partook in
try.
that?
Yeah, I mean, you've got legacy for it.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and.
Guess your conquests weren't memorable. Oops. Oops. Wow.
One success.
One success. Okay, you actually were not a part of the Watchers.
Okay.
Okay.
Essentially, the
don't-
Watchers were, they were, if I remember the story correctly, the Watchers were angels. So they had not, I don't believe they had actually fallen yet. They were watching over mortality, and they decided amongst themselves, hey, let's go down there and
Get jiggy with it.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. He's like, no, I wasn't part of that. Huh. I'd
Well,
heard of
this
it.
is
We all did, but
this has been an eye-opening
And that's-
experience.
And that's why you did
Grandpa.
not get chained to a rock.
So I don't owe you any child support or anything, do I?
Yeah, several 100,000 years potentially. I don't even know at this point. No,
With-
you
with
know, but
interest.
it's good to know I at least have some more relatives than the shitty ones I had before.
So he nudges Charlotte again. See, I didn't fall into the shitty category.
Not yet. But regardless, thank you. I think for
the-
this
For the shag, or just the revelation.
Well, I'm gonna thank you on her behalf. But I'll thank you on my behalf too, because you know what? I think this might be a bit better than being an unwanted, redheaded stepchild of a Toreador clan.
Oh, is that what they call the Cain's curse or whatever that happened
No,
to be?
one of them.
Well, you
One
were
of
a
'em.
Toreador.
Yeah,
Interesting.
What does that mean? What did the Toreador?
it's a faction of clan in the vampiric community that is arrogant and aristocratic.
That is not you.
No, that wasn't the only reason they hated me. It was really they just hated me because I was thin. I was a thinner blood, and when you have a family history that goes back in that sort of time and era, the anything that would cause a weakening of that lineage would be bad. And unfortunately, as a result, the Elda at the time took matters into their own hands privately.
So that's ironic, seeing as the Toreador have such a propensity for following their passions, no matter how unwise it may be.
Well, unfortunately, that is how I came to be, following their
Yeah.
passions regardless of the consequences.
It's their only.
Despite
it's their own
not
fault.
knowing that was going to happen. I mean, frankly, who ever expects to have any kind of child between a union and a vampire anymore, or a human and a vampire?
And
Like,
it's-
it's not
that's
something
really-
that's common. So when it happened, my parents made the decision to leave and go into hiding for a very long time. But even our days were numbered, unfortunately.
Sorry for your
No, I don't.
tragic past.
I don't mean to interrupt the recollection and the diligent recalling of your history, but are you in need of a place? I feel like I should be paternally looking out for you for some.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Don't feel any parental obligation in this case. I'm good. I might though call on you a time or two, maybe to get some clarification on some things if you're open to that. I mean, but I don't expect really much of anything from you or anybody at this point.
All right. If that's what you would desire, then that's quite fine by me.
She shrugs.
And on that awkward note, that's where we're going to stop for the night. All right, so
she made a great granddad times 100
Yep.
tonight.
Yeah,
That's
right.
great.
That's funny.
So we have RP votes to do here real quick before we wrap up. So let's start with Dale.
Let's see here. I'm gonna go with. Gotta go with. Yeah, Rachel,
Mhm.
because
Thank you.
of everything we just went through and
Okay,
everything she's realizing.
sure. Abby.
Rachel as well.
Okay. All right. Brittany.
Ditto.
Okay.
Oh, thank you guys.
Rachel.
You guys all did great. I am going to go with Abby.
Okay.
Oh.
I liked your interactions with Lillian and Petra.
Okay. And Shelley.
Definitely Joe, because she had sex with her grandfather.
So,
Points for that.
Great. Points for
Thanks for not
incest.
doing it on screen.
Gonna find out how good he is.
I mean,
So how many abs
he's
does
got
he
bragging
have?
rights apparently now, so I guess it's okay.
I mean, I'm 100%. He is that vain. That's why he said what he said to Charlotte. He just like,
Right.
she remembered millennia ago. So it's just like,
Right.
I mean, there's no better stamp of approval. So, okay.
How many abs does he have, Charles?
He has 12. They're layered
The
like
baker's
scale mail
dozen.
armor.
There's one that you can't see somewhere.
That's more than Colin.
I know. So, okay. So, Rachel, you get to put down 2 XP for your character.
Sweet. Thank you.
All right. And then tomorrow we will be playing Marvel Superheroes at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then the next Wednesday, which is the 28th, we're going to be back to Rift's Survivors Dawn at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're interested, come check out and hang out with us there, and we're going to have a good time. So thank you all for who hung out with us and who followed and chatted a little bit with us, and we will catch you all again next time. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.